The State Department just announcing a reward of up to $10 million for information on suspected efforts by Russia to interfere in U.S. elections. The U.S. has already sanctioned individuals and entities linked to a company based in St. Petersburg that intel officials say was central to Russian efforts to impact the 2016 presidential election. The new State Department reward seeks information about the company and its associates. America is listening to Fox News.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
A second death confirmed in St. Louis after record rains and flash flooding.
Police in Hazelwood in north suburban St. Louis say a man's body was found Wednesday about a mile from his abandoned semi-truck that appeared to have been submerged in floodwaters that hit the area. No ID, no foul play. An autopsy is planned. That after another man in his 60s was found dead in St. Louis in his car under more than 8 feet of floodwaters. Following what the National Weather Service reports was over 12 inches of rain that fell in some areas in a matter of hours, surpassing the normal amount of rain for July and August combined. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The same system now soaking the Appalachians, blamed for at least 3 flood-related deaths in Kentucky. An Ohio judge denies bond for the man accused of raping a then 9-year-old girl who sought an abortion in a neighboring state.
Gerson Fuentes, according to Franklin County Judge Julie Lynch, lived with the child and her mother, and according to evidence is in the U.S. illegally. Fuentes faces 2 counts of rape and could face life without parole if he's convicted. Judge Lynch said denying bond is the best way to protect the child.
To allow him to return to that home, the traumatic and psychological impact would be undeserving to an alleged victim.
Prosecutors say Fuentes admitted to raping the little girl twice. The child's pregnancy and abortion gained national attention, with President Biden commenting on it. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Another major U.S. company will have unionized workers for the first time. Employees at a Trader Joe's supermarket in Hadley, Massachusetts, west of Boston, voting to form a union. The California-based chain has more than 500 locations nationwide and recently announced an enhanced benefits package. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
The people of Guam are outraged with the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Hafaday, Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns the property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Half day and good morning, Guam. It's 6:06 on Friday, July 29. I'm Joanne Matanani with a look at your local news on The Point. A GPD officer has been indicted on charges in connection with a deadly shooting at a Dededo gas station earlier this year. Attorney General Levin Camacho said the independent investigative team found Officer Justin A.L. Kenga's actions were not clearly justified when he shot and killed Eopi Rudolph. Kenga faces charges of manslaughter as a first-degree felony and negligent homicide as a third-degree felony in connection with the March 9 death. The encounter between Rudolph and police began at 8 that night when GPD received a call about a man firing a slingshot near the gas station. Officers arrived and tried to detain the man. In the ensuing moments, Officer Kenga discharged his firearm and struck Rudolph, who was then taken to Guam Regional Medical Center where he was pronounced dead. Kenga was placed on administrative leave while internal affairs investigated. The independent investigative team then took over and completed their investigation on March 24. In a press conference yesterday, GPD spokesperson Berlin Savella said that the department is mindful that Officer Kenga is presumed innocent until proven guilty. A man captured by police this week for a motor violation was charged in connection with the sexual assault of an 8-year-old girl. On Tuesday, police officers attempted to pull over Freddy Cuevas Susuico, who was seen driving a stolen motorcycle with no license plates. Susuico abandoned the bike and fled from the officers. One officer eventually caught Susuico running through the jungle despite Susuico assaulting him while trying to escape. Susuico then told the officer that he had ice in his left pocket, which later tests positively confirmed. Susuico then admitted to the sexual assault of an 8-year-old girl that was first brought to the police attention on June 11. He was charged with 2 counts of first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct as first-degree felonies. After admitting to the sexual assault, he recanted his statement and said he would tell the court he was unaware of what he said during the interview and would deny everything because he was high on meth. Prior to his capture by the police on July 26, Susuico was suspected of involvement in 25 GPD cases that began in February 2020. Susuico admitted to his involvement in most of the thefts, which include 13 vehicles and items totaling about $100,000. We'll have more news after this.
Paying more for gas, more for food, more for everything? How about something for free? For a limited time, switch to GTA and get 3 months free. Bring your phone with your number to GTA and get 3 months of free service when you sign up for any wireless unlimited plan. Plus, we'll waive activation fees and set you up with a free SIM card. Come into GTA today for the best truly unlimited wireless plans on the best network. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit gta.net. GTA, we start with you.
The Consumer Protection Division of the Office of the Attorney General has asked a Superior Court judge to order Pacific Tiny Homes and its owner, Paul Sablon, to cease operations. In a news release issued yesterday, the AG's office said that it wants the court to issue a temporary restraining order against the company for continuing to advertise and offer container homes without a business license or a contractor's license. A civil complaint was filed against the company and its owner earlier this month, stating Sablon and his company were engaging in unlicensed and deceptive business practices. The CPD received numerous calls from consumers since the initial complaint, including one from a consumer who paid $25,000 for a container home and an additional $4,750 to connect the power, water, and drainage system within her unit. The defendants delivered a home in May 2022 that did not have a sink or toilet installed in the bathroom. To date, the defendants have failed to connect the consumer's utilities and have failed to install the fixtures as promised. News sources reached out to Sablon, but he declined to comment, stating that his attorney is already working with the AG's office on the case. And the Guam Power Authority is projecting a decline in the price of diesel fuel over the next several months, though the utility continues to face significant under-recovery on the price of fuel. GPA General Manager John Beneventi said it's too early to propose any changes to the fuel surcharge. The surcharge, officially known as the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, or LEAC, is the portion of the monthly power bill that pays for the fuel needed to power island generators. The Public Utilities Commission, the entity responsible for setting utility rates, must balance any under-recovery by mitigating rate hikes too steep or sudden for ratepayers. The fuel surcharge has been rising since February 2021, with the most recent set of increases beginning in July. The second rate hike for this set of increases will take effect in September, raising the LEAC to 29.6 cents per kilowatt hour. That's an increase of $44.41 added to the average residential power bill. While residual fuel prices also are dropping, GPA is phasing out that fuel supply as it transitions to cleaner burning diesel products. Beneventi said that PUC wants GPA to come back in October with updated numbers. At that time, a determination will be made on whether to increase or decrease the LEAC. The Commission will decide at its October 27 meeting whether there is a need to increase the LEAC further for November through the end of January. GPA's under-recovery at the end of June was $41 million. Beneventi indicated there would still be some hope for cheaper rates down the line if oil prices continue to fall. And those were your top stories right here on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
Well, unfortunately, I don't see the oil prices falling right now. 96.70 is where the West Texas crude was today. About 97.76 was where it was yesterday. So a little tiny movement, and still under $100 a barrel. And I guess that's the good news here. 6:13 in the morning. Is it time for weather? Is it time for weather? Or are there other things that I can riff on? I tell you what, we got all 4 hours. It's just us this morning, right? Do we have any special guests coming in? Do we have anybody lined up for this morning?
Oh, I don't know. You're pretty special to me.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, it's the pink shirt, isn't it? That's what I thought. All right, here it comes the weather for today. Scattered showers are in the forecast. Let me get some images up on the screen. Just some stuff. Sunrise from over at Sarita Garin's place. A little bit cloudy, but color otherwise good. You want to see some clouds? Hold on a second. I got this from Dennis Larson a second ago. And this one here give you an indication of what the gray skies are going to be looking like this morning. Now, there should be some sunlight in that in the picture that we've got now, but it's just gray line, gray skies out there. Mostly cloudy in today's forecast. Daytime highs today should be about 84 degrees. Winds out of the southeast, only about 11 miles an hour today. The scattered showers and mostly cloudy skies this evening, and overnight lows should be about 76 degrees. I'm not saying that it's grill marks tonight, but I will say an opportunity for you to get out there and do some, sun setting with your buddies and besties. Partly sunny in the forecast for tomorrow. Daytime highs about 85 degrees tomorrow night, mostly cloudy as well. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get out from under a whole lot of clouds all weekend long. We got cloudy today, partly sunny, which is another way of saying cloudy tomorrow, and partly sunny on Sunday as well. Heat index today going to make it feel like 92 degrees. I'm trying to put hope in this weather forecast. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:50. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together brought to you by Bank Pacific. Banking on the Pacific for 68 whole years. Go green. Go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
I'm cranking it up here. Portions of the program brought to you by APL. That's short for American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the guys over at CPK. And you're going, oh, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go watch the sunset, and we'll go to CPK. And no. We're talking about CPK for breakfast. Now, I'm actually launching into this a little bit early. It's only 6:16. They won't open the doors for breakfast for another 43 minutes. Just FYI, so if it tell you what, I know a lot of you guys got a regular routine. Wake up, get a cup of coffee, make some toast, do something like that. Here's what I want you to do: is go ahead and maybe have a little bit of coffee, and then get yourself cleaned up, and then drive over to CPK in Agana. You know exactly where it is, the old Proa, and get ready for an incredible breakfast. Now, when I say incredible, I mean I'm talking about pages and pages and pages worth of great breakfast items. 3 different kinds of eggs Benedict. We got all kinds of healthy items to get you started with, including an acai bowl. I like saying acai because it sounds like acai beer, but it's not acai beer. It's just it's an acai, which is some kind of real Joe. What
superfruit?
Thank you very much. So go and get some superfruits there. If you want a pizza for breakfast, they can hook you up as well. And you're going, Ray, all that sounds very good. It's all kind of trendy food. Do they look? I just want. Can I get like a Spam fried rice and eggs and a piece of bacon? Yes, you absolutely can. Check it with mimosas. It's Friday, no frowny face Friday. How do we guarantee that you're not going to have a frowny face? Start it off with a mimosa from CPK and Agana.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255. Come on, 816, no, 618. There it is. I'll get the numbers right. Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled as usual to be here with you on a Thursday. No, it's Friday, right? You know how I can tell it's Friday? Because yesterday was Thursday, and then yesterday was Thursday night. And I didn't get to go to my cousin Freddie's fundraiser over at Tower of London. Now my plan was my plan was to go and hang out at the debate, and I figured it'd be over about 8:30ish or something like that. And then there was the post-debate that was taking place, and by the time it was all done, and I'm getting tweets from my friends, I'm getting notifications from my friends over at Tower of London saying, "We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you." I said, "Dude, it's already after 9, and
that's hard."
And is just one. Just have a round. Just come on over for one round. And I'm like, you people know me. That's impossible. If I'd have done that, I would have just left Tower of London like 20 minutes ago to make it in time for the radio show.
I got to teach you how to ninja, Ray.
It's hard.
You couldn't ninja that.
I just didn't. So cousin Freddie, sorry, I missed the opportunity, and we'll see if I can do. And I'm told the band was really, really good. They said the band was good, and the booze and everything, and a bunch of girls in hot pants. I see. These are the kinds of things. My sacrifice so that I could be a part of the GMA debate that took place last night. And I figured there might be some people tuning in this morning for my comments and my recollections and my thoughts on how the GMA debate went. But I've got more important things to talk about here. This one, there's more than that in my head. First of all, we'll make introductions. Real Joe gets the phone when you call 671-888-8255, 888-TALK. Meme Machine is online. I've already got some really, really good stuff coming in. Dennis Larson and some great pictures from pretty Sarita Garin. Kitsutsu in Japan has got some beautiful Japanese sunrises. Well, it might be sunsets. I don't know. It's not sunrise in Japan quite yet, but they've been tooling around. This is the store where he makes the exchange. Can you make out what it is that the yen is going for? It's 134 and a quarter.
Yeah.
To the exchange rate. Anyway, so that's where 797-8255 is the Meme Machine. You got something fun that you want to share? Some videos? It's I got a video. And anybody that knows me, I don't have too many,
But I've got a pet peeve. I've got a couple of pet peeves. The butt ugly, god awful chain link fence that goes from about Kmart, used to go right up to the front of Kmart, and then a bunch of drunk guys took out, section by section by section. And in my mind, it's been up there way too long. It was supposed to be one of these temporary things until we could figure out how to control the kids at JFK.
Yeah.
Who are now grandparents since they originally put that thing up. At any rate, so that's one of my pet peeves. God awful, butt ugly chain link fence in front of John F. Kennedy High School that Josh Tenorio told me 4 years ago they had a plan for. But you know what? COVID-19.
It's a slow release plan.
It's long COVID is what happened. Anyway, the other pet peeve is when you are in the vicinity, and when I say vicinity, I generally mean anywhere within about 3/4 of a mile or a mile from a trash truck here on Guam. You know what I'm talking about.
Smell it right now. Right?
Trash juice.
Trash juice. Hanum basula is what we speak of that in Chamorro.
Ray, that's Totsi.
Oh my God! It is the Totsi. and so I got a video. I got a video yesterday of one of these trash trucks out there in. I don't know where this is. You know what? Kind of see if maybe we can identify the location of this thing. It's just some kind of barren road. Yeah, the audio was okay. It's a lady that had happened upon this thing and got video of one of these trash trucks.
Truck is here, and I think he's letting out waste. It stinks. It's a Lago truck.
A Lago truck, she says. Okay, so what's going on here is the truck, because it's raining, right? And all of the trash that it's picking up is rainy, and what happens is all of that water now is added to the weight of the truck.
It's called a merquois, Ray.
A merquois?
Yeah.
But so they want to they compress the trash, and the juice rolls out of it, and so it's lighter when they go and take it, because these guys are charged by the pound, and they don't want to be charged for the water. You know what I mean? So
more fuel too.
They're discharging this, and if you ask me, that is a public health emergency. That is the same stuff that was coming out of the bottom of the ORDOT dump that was cause for the consent decree and having to live with the guys from Bratton, Brishner, and Buttocks.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But, the solid waste receiver and all of that stuff. I mean, billions, millions and millions of dollars. And these guys are just letting the leachate out right there on the street on the level. Can you imagine if that's over the aquifer? They got all of these people giving, the military a hard time about endangering the environment, blah, blah, blah. But here it is, a local company here on Guam that is releasing this trash juice, this Hanum basula, right out there. And the stink has got to be to high heaven. The stink has got to be there to high heaven. So it should be fairly easy to find. And I know Walter Leon Guerrero. I'll send him a copy of this to see if maybe the folks over at EPA might be able to do something with this, because there is clearly some video evidence of one of these sanitation trucks. Can you imagine just leaking on purpose the juice?
You got to pinky test it, Ray, and put it in the upper gum.
Oh my God, I can't. Oh yeah. No, I can't do that. Anyway, 6:24 in the morning. You might be wondering, is that the most important thing that Ray's going to be talking about today? No. The most important thing is this has been Mac and Cheese Week on the Ray Gibson Show.
Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese.
I'm not sure how it happened. It just kind of spoke it into the universe, and it started. We started to get more and more conversation. And so the other day, Frank from over at KFC gave me, he clued me in. We were talking about different things that you could add to mac and cheese, which by itself is already perfect, to make it even more perfect, closer to God, if you will, for mac and cheese. And he says, what you want to do is you want to get a thing of KFC mac and cheese and then a KFC popcorn chicken and mash them all together. Put them in a bowl and just stir them up like crazy. It didn't add Tabasco, didn't add any salt or pepper, Ajinomoto or anything like that, and just ate it like that yesterday. And I'll tell you what, unbelievably filling. I didn't need to eat for the rest of the day. So if you're looking, if you're going to do KFC over the weekend, maybe even today, just cause. So swing by there and try out that special Frank's own recommendation recipe for the popcorn chicken with the Colonel's mac and cheese, and make that good. That, my friends, was the most important thing that I had to impart to you here this morning. Other things that we need to impart: you're not alone listening.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Well, it's Friday, and yeah, everybody knows your name. As I say, it's kind of like the Bank of Guam on a payday Friday. Kind of go up there and go, hey, it's going on. I know you. Hey, boy, how's your mom? Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. Keep your shoes on. So who's playing around with us this morning? It is a huge, huge crowd. No doubt another one of those mornings where people are saying, hey, what kind of sacred wisdom and knowledge is Ray going to tell us today? I'll get around to doing that as soon as I think of some stuff. Auntie Bennett Lujandueñas comes in at number one. Top fan, number one today. And Auntie Bennett Lujandueñas, I don't know if I could love you more. I did not, while they were doing the debate, I was actually watching and trying to pay attention. So I was not watching it on Candid, but every once in a while, Cousin Troy would show me something, and one of the things that he showed me was a note from Auntie Bennett last night in the Candid feed saying something about, I don't know, Ray Gibson for senator or Ray Gibson for governor, or I could not love Ray Gibson more. Auntie Bennett, the feelings are absolutely mutual. Tony Uggan, hi everything. How are you to find out? He says. Jay, now do you remember that from the beginning of the pandemic? Oh my God, those what the crazy heady days. I got pretty Sarita Garin pink shirt day for Ray. Rico Blanca for Big Man Online. Excuse me. Johnny Utah says, Ginger should have been browbeat after saying KUAM went downhill while Bree was working there. Come on, Ray, Troy, you should have spanked that Ginger.
Oh no.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you who James Howard, but I think James Howard was having some kind of complicated erotic fantasies.
Oh yeah.
Based on
James Howard.
on the makeup, the construct of the podium last night. So I don't know about spanking Ginger. Tell you what, here's the deal. And this is the way it finally formulated in my head is. So, and I got to do ancient broadcast history here on Guam. It was towards the end of the era of Guam Cable TV and Cable 6 News. Old timers will remember Cable 6 News. That was the place to go. And then things all of a sudden, Capitol started working over at KUAM, and they went in and changed the sets, and they put Pretty Ginger on the screen and put her nice clothes on her, and then they took a couple of guys and put nice clothes and suits and ties on them, and changed out the whole thing. And there was a little bit of a migration from Cable 6 News to KUAM, or just out. And one of the people that stuck around for a long time was Bree over at Cable 6 News. And I think there was a little bit of a rivalry. Clearly, there was a major rivalry, I think, between the two of them. Ginger went to go and work for Uncle Carl for a while, and then split to go to Washington D.C. And Bree was left here on Guam as the queen of broadcast television news. And so I in my mind, while there might have been some legitimate debate points, legitimate political points that Ginger was trying to make, it still came off as, catfight, wow, girl, newsroom, catfight, all the way through. But I will, and somebody reminded me last night, I will defend Bree to a degree. She's from Agate. She doesn't need me to back her up. But it was interesting to find out, you just got to go over the record, how many, Edward R. Murrow awards did
you are
KUAM
correct,
get?
Ray.
While Bree was running
Edward
the newsroom
R.
out there?
Murrow.
So there you go. I think some people referred to it as petty, but you decide how you want to define what you saw last night. Armando Dominguez online. Sarah Lake is there. Kenneth Polino, Greg Baz Knight. I got the hot sister of the program, Pam Duvall. Dan Rasal is there. There's Auntie Bennett Lujandueñas. Ken LG says, I survived the troll apocalypse. The legion of high-paid government employees flooding the comments last night. Bobby Alvarez, I don't know how he knew that I was falling asleep, but that first segment of the debate, that was kind of a snoozer, and he actually put down Ray Gibson and ZZZZZ somewhere on the thing. Hey, don't let my sister find you. Greg Fausto from in Texas might be there. 106 degrees. Dave Dinsman online. Happy feet, no frowny Friday. Don't worry, be happy, Sarita says. Lonnie Salas is there. Henry Menglutnya watching the program. Sarah Lake, Magandang Umaga. Lovely people of The Point. Sarah excited about going back to school. She's a educator, don't you know?
Oh, Maganda.
Maganda. And no, Ganda. She's Ganda. Right?
Okay.
So she's, if you ever see her in real life, remember these words. Ganda ka.
Oh, I've seen her in real life.
Okay, so you know. All right, we got Rudy Rodolfo. the original Burger King today.
Good morning, Your Majesty.
Celebrating a couple of things. It's Chicken Fries Friday over at the Burger King place. But a couple of things. Southwest Bacon Whopper now available for a limited time, and I got this yesterday. In the beginning, we're almost out of July. Oh my God, we're almost out of July. And into August, where there are 31 days. Months with 31 days have Whopper Wednesdays. So he's gearing up for that over at the BK place. Greg Baz Knight is there. I got Ruben Mortera. Juanita Machi is there. Mike Grace Blas. Good morning to Felix Bumba, Brad Wood, and Colin Clark. Kuhulu Umbi. Pirates Cove, Jeff Pleadwell online. Charlie Robinson saying good morning to everybody. And there's Jay Rojas. Oh. Happy birthday, 6:32 in the morning. He's also wishing a happy birthday to Monticello Tyron and to Joanne Matanani. As a matter of fact, Charles Krog. Good morning to B-Man Dennis Larson, Keenan McCausland, Valerie S.A. Untalan, Vicente, Anthony Valesco Borja.
Wow, who's he running for?
That is Biba. That's Vince Borja.
Oh, Biba.
But because it's 28 days.
He added the other 50 names.
Exactly. You got mother's maiden name, father's name, all of that stuff. So
well played.
Vincent Anthony Valesco Borja. Carolyn Long is online. I see my buddy from the CCU, Simon Sanchez, checking out the program. Every once in a while, we will go through a morning where I don't say Simon Sanchez.
Uncle Si.
He's always listening, but it's the difference between listening on the stream and listening on the Facebook Live. Apparently, he's got problems going from one to the other without losing the feed. So I don't know what it is. It's bad on his end. But he's here with us on the Facebook side today. Let me see. Charles Harvey Egna online.
Oh, Biba Harvey.
There's a Biba for Harvey. Dorothy Jesus and Tom Tahazi. Hey, Tom, it would have been. You know what? One of these days, let's do a debate and let Tom Tahaji comment next to me and Troy. I think that would be totally awesome. Mitch Prasado, hey, cuz, good to see you there. Biba Dave Duenas online. Bunker Menno, we will be back. He will be back out later today. I don't know who you're talking about.
Biba Bunker.
Good to have you there. Rochelle Merrill checking out the program. Greg Karabrock. I got Jose Martinez. That's our guy. Yeah, that's our guy. Linda, listen, Linda. Never thought someone can talk as much as Ray until I listened to Ginger last night. Oh, Lord, she's like high on meth tweaking. Just kept going and going and going. Let me see. Colin talking about Paul Sablon, Jules Tejano there, Joanna Taitano, Buenos Dan, half a day to Ismael Velez. Damn Cheetah back there stalking. Let me see. William John says the party Democrat that doesn't know what a woman or a recession is wants an inflationary tax and spend bill to reduce inflation. Does everyone see we have a problem? Skip recession. Go right straight to massive depression. You know what, John, you're old enough or educated enough to know that there was the Great Depression. Many other countries around the world were also experiencing a depression, but in the United States, it was the Great Depression. And that was brought on by certain unprecedented political steps that were being taken. Look it up. Gerald Young online, Valerie again. Caroline Diaz. Talking about my pink shirt with the turned-up collar. Check you out. Buenas from Texas, Ray. Good to see you. Caroline with a K. Sabine Chargaloff. Harvey said Ginger had an Espresso 5 going into last night's program. Somebody timing it as the point. Ginger is just feeling scorned that instead of her, Mike St. Nicholas gave his rose to Bree. I love that. Let me see. Gemma Bustamante hanging out. Joanne Cruz, Dale Audette, Patty Cruz, and Tom Tenorio Bernardo. The post-debate debate was worth watching candid all the way through to the end. We were kind of, I didn't know. I wasn't watching the feed, so I wasn't paying any attention to anything until we got done. And Eric Rosario from Candid said, everybody stayed. I mean, as soon as the microphones on the stage were off and we started talking and doing the commentary, very few people stopped watching the feed. They generally stayed until we closed our microphones just after 9.
You led the after party.
I tried. It was. I frankly was ready to go as soon as Tom Shea got up there and started thanking everybody. But there was still a little bit of autopsy, if you will, on the debate that needed to get done. Anthony Diaz Taylor is there. Tina says, Ray, you look like you were holding in a quiet beer burp. So.
He always looks like that, guys.
Yeah, there's this pensive kind of curious observation.
Ray, next time say you got to use the restroom and get out of there, man.
Okay, so
Ninja.
So it wasn't my show. This was Troy's show.
I know.
And I think Troy had a thing where he wanted to go in order. So I'll talk, and then Raymond can talk, and then Ginger can talk, and then Ron can talk, and we're gonna go around in that.
I
loop
waited for Ron to talk
for a while, but it kind of became clear to me that unless somebody jumped in, Ginger wouldn't shut up. So I would jump in just to kind of break things up, because it's like we didn't have the lady in the front with the stop sign saying, okay, your time is up. We did not have that at the thing. So I took on the duty. You can thank me later.
Money, man.
Would have been epic if Juan Carlos had attended. Yeah, I think that would have been all right. Raf Scambaluri, hey, Ding, good to have you online. Oliver Malakas and Elise Guam Sales is there. Handam Kalakis for real, she says. Pam Duval Sanitation is their business. Yeah, WTF. No nasty commenters here? Oh, they must still be sleeping. We generally don't get your Logan Rages, Chris Carrillo kind of all-in trolls on this feed. And it's not that I do anything about it. I don't care one way or the other. I think they're afraid of all of the Facebook guys. I think they're afraid literally to get into a scrap with some of the people that call this their morning home. So you got to be very, very careful if you come in and try to mark your territory like that. Bandits Online, Anna Marie and Joe and Goko hanging out. Belen Sidel, multiple Valentine's likes on this, taking up almost the entire page. Great to see you. Are you back in town now? Tunduk Duk is there. Donna Mila. Donna Mila says Ginger is jealous because KUAM did a special on Bree and nobody cared about Ginger. Jose Martinez online and all kinds of other folks. Hope I get to all of the names here this morning. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number here at the radio station. Got so much to get through today. I don't know that I'm going to do a whole big long reprise on the debate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I agree. I agree with Troy. There were three segments. The first segment was kind of boring because everybody kind of feeling their way around the room. Lulian Guerrero did take a swipe about what's Mike's bad research or something like that. And it occurred to me that there were many places where Lou left red meat out there, but Mike didn't go for the bait. He did not go for either for the red meat or the bait. He could have. He could have. And so that segment ended, and we refer to that. Troy and I agree that was probably a kind of a toss-up.
Small talk.
On who was going to, who do you want to say? I mean, the Mike people will say he won that side of it. The Lou people will say she won that first segment. Then comes the second segment, and it really showed the difference. Not necessarily between the capabilities of the lieutenant governor candidates, but it did highlight, and I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again today, in years past, the lieutenant governor was... Hey, Island Beautification Task Force. We'll give you a couple of, kind of feel-goody things to do. But it was interesting listening to the level of involvement that Josh Tenorio had in a number of places. Healthcare, obviously, because it was a healthcare debate. But in other places in the day-to-day operations of the government of Guam. So I don't know. We're getting our money's worth. We're getting our money's worth out of that. And he brought But the guy's an easy speaker. Easy speaker. He's got all this crap in his head.
It's a gift.
And he can roll it out just as well as me or anybody else can. So I think we scored that one for the Lou and Josh team, but mostly for Josh. And then came the last round. Was kind
stand and bang.
Yeah. There was what do you call that? Is the pose down? It was a pose down. All four of them up there and the back and forth. And that was finally where we saw a little bit more of Bree's agate side and Mike St. Nicholas's agate side was coming out. The guy had to apologize for being combative when he was finally taking advantage of a little bit more of kind of out there time. We talked about everything that needed to get talked about, and he just kind of laid into to Lou and Josh and the entire administration, talking about, well, my God, what have you guys been doing for the last 4 years? Why are we still here talking about this? And the glory days are not going to be until a new hospital is built. And it finally started to feel like a debate. Like when you go to the racetrack, not to see who's going to win the race or not, but to see just how close the cars can bump into each other without overturning and crashing. Those are my thoughts on the debate. You're welcome to call in and otherwise chime in on Facebook Live or YouTube Live to let me know what you thought of how everything went last night and where you think it's going to be going now. 6:41, we'll get into some headlines in a second, but just a note, this ain't going to be the last of these debates. There's going to be yet more of them. In 28 days, we'll have a primary election, and when we're done counting that will set the stage for the great debates now between Felix Camacho and Tony Ada, and whoever wins the Democratic nomination in the primary election. And I think that's going to be interesting as well. Hopefully, Tony and Felix are watching these debates and getting a sense, if you will, of what the competition is going to be like. Like the football teams, man, watch the reels and see where the strengths are, see where the weaknesses are, and where the opportunities. 6:42, and we've got an opportunity right now to jump into news and headlines. This one here. Oh, it's not brought to you by anybody, but we are going to jump into it anyway. Joanne Matanani now with the news. Joanne, what happened?
Yesterday morning, GFD spokesman Nick Garrido confirmed the 43-year-old man recovered from Retidian Beach on Wednesday drowned. GPD spokesperson Officer Berlin Sevilla said the police have not initiated a complaint or report connected to the incident. The drowning is the third this month and the fourth overall for 2022. Mark Smith appeared in the District Court of Guam Thursday afternoon to argue for dismissal of the remainder of charges in his Gura fraud case. Smith was found guilty of several charges back in December 2021, including but not limited to theft of government property and conspiracy to commit money laundering. It may be another couple of months until a decision is made on the dismissal, as the judge in the case decided to take more time before ruling. And lastly, grocery store shortages have become a fact of life in recent weeks, but there may be some relief as Matson Navigation is expecting another ship to arrive this Saturday. Shipment delays are especially heightened with the high domestic demand on certain products in the mainland, while others are no longer being manufactured or produced. U.S. shipping regulations further complicate Guam's supply situation, making it difficult for residents to access necessities from nearby Asian countries like Japan. Those are your local headlines on The Point. Now back to Ray.
Okay, I'm really upset at that story because I'm sorry.
I didn't write it.
Dude.
I know you didn't write it, but
Okay.
there's a thing in there where they're talking
Calm
about
down, killer.
products that they're not making anymore. There's some like grocery store stuff that they're not making anymore, but they didn't say what they are.
They didn't say it.
Right. And that's the thing that pissed me off. That's where my head is at this morning is, okay, what's not being manufactured anymore? I get it, supply chain issues, and we're not going to be able to get access to all of the raw materials. But as an example, chocolate Pop-Tarts. Are we still good with chocolate Pop-Tarts?
Dear God, I hope so.
And dear God in heaven. And what about the ho-hos and ding-dongs and things like that?
We got lots of ding-dongs around. We don't have to worry about
Those
ding-dongs.
ho-hos ain't loyal, Ray.
I know. Well, there's certain things that find their way. There's Chili's no beans. Can I get Chili's no beans? Because I like that with my hot dogs and my hot rice on the side. Know what I'm saying? All right, maybe too much out of me this morning. At 6:44, Ray Gibson Show continues. We'll look at what's happening on your roads after these.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, Think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pika's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
All right, I'm looking up a story here on the screen talking about here are the groceries you might be missing on store shelves due to food shortages in 2022. But they haven't given me the whole thing yet. Current food, fresh meats are short on that. Dairy might be in short supply later this year. Eggs. Okay, pretty much.
Choco tacos, Ray?
Canned food shortage in 2022. No. High prices and low availability of aluminum may cause canned food and beverage shortages later this year. You know, everything doesn't need to come in a can. In certain parts of Asia, when you go, you can buy the equivalent amount of a 6-pack of beer, and they put it in a plastic container, like plastic bag.
In a bag.
Yeah, you carry it around like you carry around goldfish or something like that.
It's like a urine sample.
Exactly. But hey, look, if it works, then why not? 6:47 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. All right, you said we got to take a look at what's going on the roadways early on a Friday morning. So I don't anticipate we're going to see a whole lot. Looks like we might have a little bit of a jam getting into or around the main gate of Anderson Air Force Base. Looks like we got a little slowdown, but it looks like it's southbound. Marine Corps Drive at the intersection of 1 and 3 running fairly clear right now. A little bit busy on the southbound side of the Micronesia Mall intersection, so it might be a lot of people trying to get in and put some gasoline in the car, get ready for the weekend. 8, 10, and 16 looking pretty good here. I'll check out Atacao and Gudzanero a little bit later on, but otherwise, Route 15 looks like it's running fairly clear. 8 is good. 4 is good into town. Most of the traffic in the downtown Hagåtña area is non-existent, and only a little bit of traffic at Sumai. What is this that I'm looking at on the eastern side of the island? What have we got? Whoa. Looks like there might be an accident out there. Let me know about this, guys. Just past the Zonia Mayor's office, when you're making that turn and going down the hill, that's where it looks like we might have some problems. Inbound and outbound traffic through there. It's running slow right by what's the name of the beach over there?
Turtle Cove?
No. This is closer to town from that.
Okay.
It's a T. It's the T beach. Taragi.
Tagatsang.
Okay. Tagatsang. Okay. This is how I know where I am. Is it a T beach or a Y beach? But it looks like traffic beginning to slow down through there as you make that turn. And then once you get to the Pago Bay Overlook, you might be able to get a little bit more by way of what's happening out there. If you're in the area, there's enough light outside. Grab a picture, shoot some video, send it to 797-8255 if it's safe to do so. And it looks like we're going to start seeing traffic backing up all the way over to the bridge, the Toyona Bridge that we've got down there. 6:49 in the morning. There's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Boss 104, The Point, and Star 101 are bringing you the Back to the 80s and 90s Throwdown at the Hermit Crab Beach Bar and Grill in Anigua, Saturday, August 6th.
Come down and get on the dance floor as I, DJ Daryl Nazama, get on the turntables, giving you the best of the 80s, 90s, and more.
Star 101, The Point, and Boss 104 will be in the house.
Yo, DJ, pump it up some more. Plus, we have all kinds of cool stuff to give to you.
Free food giveaways,
buckets of beer,
T-shirts, and hourly cash prizes.
For the 90s Throwdown dance off.
back to the 80s and 90s throwdown at the Hermit Crab Beach Bar and Grill in Antigua behind Circle K Beachside. The party is from 8 p.m. to midnight, so come down and get your groove on. Special thanks to JV International Safety Equipment Company and Lolita Kamet from Hoffaday Realty.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
Yeah. I'm going to wear my acid wash jeans. And even though it's hermit crab is outside, I'm going to wear my I'm going to wear the jacket with the like the shoulder pads.
Oh yeah.
Or they used to do this. Me and we used to have this guy who worked for me. What was his name? I can't remember his name. But he used to it was like acid wash jeans and cowboy boots and like a vest, not a little wet leather vest. I mean just a vest from a random suit. And then you got your collar all the way up.
The brooch. Did he ever wear a brooch?
What was the thing? Like a bolo. Yeah. It was a bolo. See, we didn't wear ties. We wore the bolo with the little string dangling down there.
It was Adam's apple jewelry, Ray.
I still have mine. 6:51 in the morning. I still got mine. Is one that survived both of the ex-wives. They weren't able to throw it out. Where am I? I had it in the safe deposit box. 6:51 and change. Got some pictures from Pirates Cove as we make our way into Friday morning and a Friday sunrise on the eastern side of the island. Capital pictures you got there, Jeff. Absolutely gorgeous shots from this morning. On the phone, 888-8255-888-TALK. Ken Leon Guerrero, savage battling the trolls last night on the Candid feed. Buenos, then half a day. Did you vanquish them? Were they vanquished?
Yes, I pushed the home button on my iPhone so that I could concentrate on the debate and not be distracted by the endless list of government employees and management people touting the successes of the administration even before comments were even being made live. You know,
doesn't it feel like they're just borderline, not borderline desperate, way over the border, past like frustration and what's the other word I'm looking for here, where they're just desperate in order to, it's like if the candidates could speak for themselves, let them speak for themselves.
Yeah, the thing that had caught me was the amount of cut and paste being done in the comments, because nobody can put in a 600, 700 word comment in 0.5 of a second and do it 20 times in a row. So we're talking major cut and paste to the point where you wonder, what do these people do all day if they have nothing better to do than sit there and prepare, 250 posts that they can cut and paste and drop in at a moment's notice?
The word I'm looking for is non-essential.
Well, it's like they're trying to prove to the governor who loves them the most so that they can be at the head of the line for the next round of executive pay raises, is the way it looked to me.
Who do you think won that contest?
I think the contrast was so clear.
No, not talking about the debate. Who won the biggest kiss ass award? Who in your mind was of all of the all-in people the biggest, best, and everybody's favorite brown noser?
Ooh, God, that's a tough one. I'm going to have to say Jensen, by virtue of the fact of his high-speed copy pasting.
Nice.
Nobody can copy paste faster than him.
I'll be darned. There's something about those kind of magical kind of keyboard warrior skills that he has managed to achieve in a very, very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that he doesn't do it for the benefit of the people who are paying his salary, But that's the nature of politics. We look, and this is what was so clear to me in this event last night.
Mm-hmm.
The rose-colored glasses that the governor and Josh have is so much different than the reality that we have to deal with. For her to stand up there on the stage and tell us everything is wonderful, everything is great, things couldn't possibly be any better, as every day another business closes, every day another family leaves this island forever, every day another person who can't afford to go to the emergency room, takes a turn for the worse.
Sure.
We are in a healthcare emergency. It began 30 years ago. It didn't start with the pandemic. The pandemic only magnified it. And for her to stand there and say, I have been involved for 30 years. Well, it reminds me of that old saying, you can't expect the people who broke something to fix it. She's got 30 years experience, and where are we now? She had all this time. And what I'm doing is I'm comparing her last appearance before the GMA in 2018 and what she said she would do with the reality we find ourselves in today. Back in 2018, she was going to make Guam Memorial a priority. She denied we needed a receiver when the moderator asked about the receiver question. She said she was going to put competent people in charge, and we're going to raise Guam Memorial to become the standard bearer for our region.
Well, that changed. Now we're going to bulldoze the thing and build up a new one on Route 15, where virtually no one in the medical community wants it.
Yeah, well, during her reign of power, about 10,000 babies have been born. And if you go back into history, you will find that in 2014, Eddie Calvo signed a bill to modernize labor and delivery, because that's where I met Tom Shea. In 2012, we started testifying on this. For 2 years, the Calvo-Tenorio administration looked at it, and they brought in all the people, all the stakeholders. There are a lot of round tables, a lot of public hearings, and he signed the bill. And Bank of Guam denied the loan, even though it was backed up by the USDA. But they wouldn't loan the money to renovate labor and delivery unless the government of Guam put a lien on the business privilege tax, which they could not do. So here we have a situation where this hospital could have been done right, could have been done better. And since 2014, we're talking 25,000 to 30,000 babies have been born.
I don't know why that wasn't a bigger issue in the debate from any of the candidates. I mean, that's if you ask me, that is the low-hanging fruit. Tom Shea has only been talking about that for the last 10 years, and there have always been assurances one way or the other from whoever was in Adelup that it wasn't done. And we can argue, we can go all day long about the lack of the fiscal resources to get it done, but we can't use that as an excuse today. I mean, take $10-15 million out from somewhere, maybe the excess revenues, maybe in this case we might be able to say, yeah, we can use ARP money for it, and then go and hand it over to somebody and let them go with a design that's already been done and get the labor and delivery. Mike did on this. It is a profit center for Guam Memorial Hospital. There's nothing more efficient and easier to do, because nature will take care of it for the most part than delivering babies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, remember, Guam Regional shut down their labor and delivery, so we don't have that anymore. And so we've dumped an additional workload on top of Guam Memorial Hospital, and she could have done this.
Yeah, I don't know. I never understood the thinking behind moving that out of GRMC. At any rate, 6:58. Nobody cares about the points that were being made at the debate last night. Everybody wants to talk about Ginger Cruz. What did you think of her and the nonstop tirades against Bree and stumping for Lou and Josh?
Way over the top. I actually applaud it from a community perspective, because just as a lot of people told me that watching the Lou Tenorio circus, turning in their petitions, where they had that march and music. I think they even had a marching band that had half of government of Guam lining the parking lot and the stairs and the hallways while they turned in their petitions. That actually turned off people. I think that Ginger's over the top, nonstop singing of the glories and virtues that don't exist in this administration. It reminds me of Joseph Goebbels. Tell a lie loud enough and often enough, it becomes the truth.
All right, Ken, I got to run because the news is going to be playing in about 40 seconds from right about now. At issue here, the thing that's at the top of my head, because it's on the top of my screen right now, is what looks like really, really ugly traffic getting out of Zotnia. If you're headed towards Mingilao from Zotnia, if you passed the church, Man, this is the scary thing is there aren't too many other ways out of there if we've got some traffic issues. I'll see what I can find out from the cops here in just a little bit, but it looks like around Tagatseng, you are going to see some slowing down in that area. By the time you get to the overlook, you may come to a complete stop before you get down to the bottom of the hill by the old firing range. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Here's Fox News.
A renewed debate about spending. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to fight inflation and lower costs.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre as the president urges Congress to pass a new spending bill, much smaller than the Build Back Better plan, but still getting hammered by Republicans.
Democrats have outlined a giant package of huge, new, job-killing tax hikes.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, the bill includes climate programs, a corporate tax hike, and an effort to cut health care costs. President Biden telling Congress it's the strongest bill they can pass to address those priorities. This as he doubles down on recession denial as the economy shrinks again, a 0.9% contraction in the second quarter.
Unemployment is low. Companies are hiring, and businesses domestically and abroad are still investing in the U.S., President Biden says.
That doesn't sound like a recession to me.
The president says Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and banking leaders also reject the recession label.
We've created 9 million new jobs so far, just since he became president.
Republicans say the president's policies and Democrats' spending bills are driving inflation and accuse the administration of trying to redefine what a recession is. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Flooding blamed for at least 3 deaths in Kentucky.
Let me say that, unfortunately, I expect double-digit deaths in this flooding. That's something that we rarely see.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, roadways are underwater and are impassable. Homes and businesses are unfit for entry. Many are displaced. Rescuers were picking up people from rooftops. Flash flooding warnings persist, and forecasters warn more rain and more flooding is on the way.
Fox's Evan Brown. It's the same system now blamed for at least 2 deaths in Missouri after record rainfall around St. Louis. America is listening to Fox News.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Wherever you download podcasts.
A major bank is being fined for using customer data to open fake accounts so employees could reach sales goals.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has fined U.S. Bank $37.5 million. They say U.S. Bank employees responded to required sales goals by using existing customer information, including credit data, to open fictitious checking, saving, and credit card accounts in their names. The Bureau director said U.S. Bank knew this was happening for a decade and did nothing about it. Aside from the fine, the bank is also ordered to pay all customers back any fines or fees levied against them. In a statement, U.S. Bank said this related to a now discontinued sales practice involving a small percentage of accounts, and since 2016, they've upgraded their oversight to address these concerns. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The fine against U.S. Bank comes just 2 years after Wells Fargo agreed to pay $3 billion amid civil and criminal probes of fraud allegations, including creating accounts without customer approval. U.S. Capitol Police say they won't tolerate violence or any unlawful behavior at tonight's annual congressional baseball game. Climate change protests are expected.
They play the game for charity. They expect about 20,000 fans here tonight. It'll raise about $2 million for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Washington, D.C. Democrats, they lost the game last year to Republicans, but they have the advantage in the series, 43 games to 42 games. Roger Williams, he manages the Republican team. He is a Republican congressman from Texas. He was an Atlanta Braves farmhand. He never made it to the majors, but he says that the national pastime is a healing salve.
Fox's Chad Pergram in D.C. Wall Street rallies with a shrinking economy, perhaps spurring optimism that the Fed could ratchet down its rate hikes. The Dow up 332 points today. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his Smile Team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his Smile Team.
They make smiles happen.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Half a day, it's 7:06. I'm Joanne Matanani. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. Mark Smith may have to wait until September to find out if the remainder of his guilty charges in the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority fraud case will be dismissed. Smith appeared in the District Court of Guam Thursday afternoon to argue for dismissal of charges connected to accusations he defrauded Gura while serving as a landlord, as well as serving as the Section 8 housing program's legal counsel. Defense attorney Benjamin Coleman and Assistant U.S. Attorney William Doolittle argued back and forth, citing case law in their arguments as to whether Smith's charges should stand. Coleman argued the theft of government property charge should be dropped because the Second Circuit Court of Appeals described a similar statute that uses very similar language and should be construed similarly. Coleman added that the Supreme Court determined that if the property fraud theory was defective, as to the wire fraud counts, it was also defective. In response, Doolittle said the theft of property stems from money Smith gained that wasn't his. Smith was found guilty on all counts in the December 2021 trial and was scheduled to be sentenced that same week. He was later acquitted of some of the charges in May. Court records state the remaining charges against Smith include theft of government property, conspiracy to commit money laundering, 3 counts of engaging in monetary transactions with proceeds of specified unlawful activity, and 2 counts of money laundering of monetary instruments. Chief Judge of the Northern Mariana Islands, Ramona Manglona, decided to take more time on a ruling. In other news, by Wednesday night, 4 people are dead and more than 2,700 were infected with COVID-19 in the Federated States of Micronesia, a little more than a week after the nation recorded its first cases of community transmission. FSM President spokesman Richard Clark confirmed that teams from the U.S. CDC arrived in Pohnpei and Corsrai on Wednesday. Clark said FSM President David W. Penuelo is expected to meet with Guam Governor Lou Liangaro Friday to discuss, among other things, how to ensure critical infrastructure such as hospitals do not become overrun or fail. On Tuesday, Clark said Pohnpei State Hospital stopped outpatient activities and canceled doctor appointments. Multiple medical staff are positive with COVID-19 and unable to work. Many businesses, banks, and other private companies performing essential services closed or were providing limited services. Additional financial institutions and businesses whose services include financial wire transfers have closed until further notice. Numerous government officials, private sector workers, and citizens report that they are increasingly concerned about their capacity to fully utilize their payroll checks and the wired money transfers from family living abroad in Guam, Hawaii, and the U.S. mainland. The FSM was one of the few countries in the world that had recorded no community transmission of the virus. Until July 19, only a few dozen cases had been identified in quarantine. The nation passed a law to open its borders again on August 1st. Clark states that President Panuelo intends to comply with the law. We'll have more news right after this.
Burger King introduces a new line of Southwest Bacon Whoppers. Our Southwest Bacon Whopper offerings feature an avocado spread, seasoned tortilla strips, crispy bacon, creamy spicy sauce, fresh lettuce, tomato, and onions on a warm toasted sesame seed bun. The Southwest Bacon Whopper available in single, double, or junior sizes. Make it a meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. BK's new Southwest Bacon Whoppers available for a limited time only. Burger King, Tumon Bay, Agutya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK, your way.
Some residents took the opportunity to show up early to vote yesterday morning and witnessed the transfer of ballots. Guam Election Commission employees were escorted by GPD officers from Election Commission headquarters in Tamuning to the Western Resort just after 9 a.m. Ballot boxes were wheeled into the election return center as voters waited to get inside, and visitor safety officers were seen patrolling the property as well as directing traffic. As of 3 in the afternoon Thursday, a total of 144 voters were recorded by the GEC. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan said it went pretty smoothly as voters and the Election Commission are getting used to the new location. Voters are reminded that parking and accessible voting are available at the Weston site. Pangilinan also reminded voters not to cross over on their ballots or their votes will not count. Early voting continues today at the Weston Resort Guam Voting Center on its mezzanine level. The site will be open from 10 in the morning to 6 at night, Tuesday through Friday. Homebound voters may schedule a GEC representative to stop by with a ballot by calling 477-9791. Early voting ends on August 19, and there are 28 days left until the primary election. This year celebrates its 70th anniversary and its 50th year anniversary as a land-grant institution for the University of Guam. The university is also now an official Sea Grant institution. The official designation was granted from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration after the UOG Sea Grant program underwent a comprehensive 2-week review by the National Sea Grant Advisory Board in October 2021. It is one of only 34 institutions with this designation. The program's leadership, organization, productivity, and continuity of performance were evaluated closely and earned a unanimous recommendation from the National Advisory Board, along with the official designation from NOAA's senior leadership. Director of the National Sea Grant College Program, Jonathan Pennock, said that the university earned its status by demonstrating excellence in research, education, and public service dedicated to the environmentally responsible management and development of Guam's marine and coastal resources. Pennock added that the remarkable growth of the Guam Sea Grant over the past several years made the designation a clear and well-earned advancement. UOG President Thomas Christ declared that earning the official designation as a Sea Grant institution is a transformational accomplishment for the university. Christ added that reaching this milestone gives UOG another reason to celebrate this year. UOG officials will be hosting a ceremony on August 11 at the UOG Cavill Fieldhouse in celebration of the school's milestone. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
I'll try to get some weather in here. Mostly cloudy, highs near 84 degrees today. Southeast winds blowing up to about 11 miles an hour. Scattered showers are in the forecast for today and tomorrow, and isolated showers by the time it gets to be Sunday. I'll take a look at the weather map here, give you an idea. You can see where Guam is because I actually put a thing that shows where Guam is on the weather map. And you can see there's a whole lot of that mess that we had earlier in the week is well well to the west of the island, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that is skirting us to the south of the island, and that's going to be bringing us some of these scattered showers through the course of the day. My guess is we're probably going to see some of that over the weekend. If you look east of Guam, you can see that there is some snotty weather trying to make its way out to where we are today. So expect that. Scattered showers, mostly cloudy skies today, tomorrow, partly sunny, mostly cloudy tomorrow night, and partly sunny on Sunday. Doesn't say too much about the possibilities of grill marks, but hey, it's Guam in summer. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll change. Sunset tonight, 6:50, hashtag tell the others. There it is, news and weather together on The Point.
Becoming a homeowner for the first time could be a little nerve-wracking, but it certainly doesn't have to be, especially if you have Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty guiding you every step of the way. So have no fear. She also specializes in land sales, commercial leasing, local residential sales leasing, also military and corporate new relocation. So for all your real estate needs, take the first step in the right direction with Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty by calling 671-688-6743. That's 671-688-6743.
Your everyday expenses could be earning you savings and rewards with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points at Shell, Foodies Guam, and IT&E. Want free fuel from Shell and free snacks from Foodies Guam? Sign up for Pacific Points. Want to save on your home internet and cell phone bill? Claim bill rebates and free prepaid cards at IT&E. Want to save on travel costs? Convert points to United Mileage Plus miles. Sign up for free at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
7:15 in the morning, and normally I'd tell you the program brought to you by the guys over at APL, global presence with a local home. That's their motto there over at APL. But right now I got to take care of this. Dr. Tom Shea is got some limited time available to talk to me on the radio this morning. I want to say congratulations, Doc, to you and Vince and Kai Akimoto and the rest of the team over at the Guam Medical Association for an incredible debate last night. Good job, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Ray. You know, I was isolated for the last 14 days, so
I was surprised to see you. I thought they had embargoed you because you get all twitchy and everything when it gets to be debate time. So I thought they were going to make you sub for the baby deliveries at the hospital last night.
Well, I'm always on call. It's just last night, you know, the God willing said, hey, no babies tonight. So you get to the debate. But I got out of isolation last night. But you know, in particular to regard to the debate, you know, I think people need to realize that, you know, for me being on Guam for 26 years, I think I will probably be the best moderator there is. But because I know healthcare, I know exactly what the system faults and what the solutions are. The issue here is, you know, whether or not, you know, the policymakers and, you know, the executors are willing to sit and listen and debate the issues. But I probably would have chosen different questions last night. I personally, I mean, it's a good debate, but I personally would have probably asked the question a little differently. I think there was several questions was really redundant. Which means that
with regard to recruiting and retention of everybody, you know, the whole rainbow of medical providers that we've got, and the, you know, as it was the whole spectrum of people from you know, anybody basically in Strubs. How do we get them to come to Guam, and how do we keep them once they are here?
Yeah, and that's a age-old question. I mean, I submitted some questions, but none of my questions were asked. But I think I was probably made my question a little more detailed and more specific. The question, I think, was a little too general and was asked and answered in previous debates. So I think that you know, they got lost in the message there a little bit. So I think what we have to do in future debates, we have to make it better and more educational rather than regurgitating what was already said in previous debates. That is the only way that we can get into the characterizations of how these candidates will handle leadership in healthcare. And I think Sabrina Matanani actually had quite honest answers. She admitted that she's not good in debates. But I think her one particular answer, I think many of our doctors took into heart, is that she will listen to the doctors because we are the experts in healthcare. And I think, you know, people may not like her answer particularly, but I think for us healthcare providers, we take that into our hearts and say yes, because we are the experts. You talk to us about policy and about how to make healthcare better. Now, there's one particular question I would answer differently. I mean, all the questions I probably would have answered differently. If I was writing, I would have answered certain questions. For example, the one question regarding, I'm from Guam, I'm a student, and I'm going to medical school. What are you going to do to retain me or allow us to come back to Guam? You know how I would answer that question if I was the candidate, to be honest? And I get medical students, I get college students into medical school. I sit on the admissions committees. I first would say, first of all, I would ask you to pull out your essay that you wrote to medical school and how you use Guam in your essay to get yourself into medical school.
Interesting.
What challenges that you have written in the essay to make the admission committee say, yeah, we want to accept you because you want to go back and help the people where you are from. So you don't ask the island leaders to say, hey, I'm entitled to come back to Guam to practice because I'm from here. You come back to practice on Guam because this is your home and you want to come back to serve the people of Guam. Not for any incentives for you financially, but come back what you have written in your essay, because I read those essays. And every student that got into medical school writes about Guam and how they challenge the medicine in Guam and they want to come back and help. Read that essay back.
So just come back. Do what you said you were going to do when you tried to get into med school.
Exactly. Yep. And the other thing, too, is that, we want homegrown doctors to come back. But you got to remember, 90% of Guam physicians really are not from Guam. I myself, for example, am not from Guam.
No way.
Many of my colleagues are not from Guam. So what are you trying to say? Is homegrown physicians are more entitled to special benefits to come back and practice on the island where you were born? You swear to serve. Those are answers that I would probably answer myself. But you may,
Well, I think that the point that I made last night in a little bit of the deconstruction that we did is it feels like we're asking the same questions and trying to solve the same problems that came up in the first GMA debates 20 years ago. And in 10 years, we'll be sitting there me and an older version of Cousin Troy will be sitting next to each other going over the same things and wondering about how it is that another 10 years have gone by where we have not necessarily addressed some of these issues. It seems that I've got an email from you this morning, and you're talking about a backdrop studio in the clinic upstairs, and I might want to take advantage of that one of these days as we continue these GMA kind of discussions, not necessarily a debate, but round tables to get everybody together, good listening and talking opportunities.
Yes, and that was already planned even before this debate. And we'll invite the Republican side to come out to our team because they were involved. We'll also invite, Governor Liu. And we'll sit down in the forum, not a debate, but we'll sit down and discuss real issues of healthcare and real solutions. And in a civilized format, of course. I have 26 years of experience now here on Guam. And, I took thousands of patients. So there's a knowledge in me that I like to be able to pass on before I retire. So I think, especially that one particular question about, those who are medical students want to come back to practice on Guam. Don't ask what Guam can really do for you, but what you can come back and do for the people of Guam.
Very Kennedy-esque. I like that response. Last thing before I let you run, Tom, because I'm sure there's a baby to be delivered or some other kind of inspection that you've got to get ready for. You are back in clinic, right?
Oh, yeah. I was 14 days.
Okay.
And this 5 days out, I'm telling you, it doesn't work. You got to go 14 days. That's just arbitrary. But that's a separate topic.
I appreciate that. 7:22 in the morning. But the last thing here has to do with labor and delivery. I know that has been your cause, your quest at Guam Memorial Hospital over all of these years. And again, after 4 years of a Lou and Josh administration, you are no closer to seeing a new labor and delivery, a more efficient, cleaner, hygienic, and better staffed labor and delivery. I'm surprised that nobody really keyed in on that because it is kind of a low-hanging fruit. Back in the day, maybe we didn't have the money for that. We've got the money for it now.
Yeah, and I mean to, talk to Governor Liu about this because really, if you look at the longevity, within the next 7 years, you're going to have a minimum of at least 10,000 clinical visits for mother and babies a year. So you're talking about 70,000 clinical visits and admissions to GMH for mothers and babies. Give them $10, $15 million from the pandemic fund, and let's update the labor and delivery of the mothers and babies. Don't make them suffer and have to use a toilet that needs to be flushed 4 times before you can flush your waste down the toilet. That's inhumane. Air conditioning should be working, especially during the pandemic. I think if we renovated, it would have been much, much better for isolating the mom who had COVID. And if we really care about mothers and baby, that should be a priority. We've given $60, $70 million to hotels for quarantine, etc. Give the mothers and baby $15 million from the pandemic fund. That is well used. Nobody's going to argue with that. Nobody will.
It's a money-making arm of virtually every facility that has it available. Labor and delivery, and as complicated as we might want to make this, nature has been providing for labor and delivery for millennia around here. Always nice to have somebody to help with the process or be there in case things go sideways. But for all intents and purposes, babies aren't that tough to make and deliver. And they do good baby at GMH. Imagine what they'd be able to do if they had more dough. Doc, I got to let you run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Oh, yeah, and then contact me. All media invited to be involved in the in the forum. So I think you can set it up. We'll do it systematically, but we'll start with the gubernatorial side before the primary, and then once you get narrowed down to the senatorial candidates, then we can do it for the general side.
It sounds like it might be a great venue for a return of the Island Doctors show.
But we're so short and busy. But, I think we'll do this for now, and then we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Doc. You have a great day. 7:25 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. And I was wondering when I was going to see this. I did not have this particular email box open, but it did come in. The All-In team is claiming victory. Ginger Cruz says the choice is clear. Strong and hopeful versus unsteady and unprepared. I'll riff on that a little bit later on. In the meantime, Jerry Roberts is in the studio. Good morning, Jerry. Ginger Cruz. You remember the name? She was with us last night. There was originally going to be just Cousin Troy and I, and then it turned into Cousin Troy and myself and Dr. McNinch that were going to be doing play-by-play and commentary. And I walked in and seated next to where I was going to sit was Ginger Cruz, which was absolutely fantastic. And we went through the debates, the beginnings of this, and then I don't know, a couple of times in between the second and third round and the end of the last round of the debate, it became very, very clear that she was the spokesperson for Lou and Josh.
Really?
Oh yeah. Get to go to Candid and watch the video if you dare. 7:26 in the morning. It's Friday, don't you know? Jerry Roberts is in the studio, and an opportunity now to give you the best of the week. It's got to be that good because it's got to make it all the way till Monday.
Well,
You've got to maintain that motivation. And I remembered what I wanted to talk to you about yesterday. We might go late. We might do the headlines first, Real Joe, because this will take a second. There is an outfit out there that is putting together maybe the largest in the history of it. It's a mushroom plant. They're going to be doing nothing but making mushrooms, and the end of the trail for these mushrooms is fake bacon.
Fake?
Yes.
Mushroom-based fake bacon.
Yes. And that's their idea. That's going to be the sole product that comes out of this thing is just bacon, because apparently there's an incredible demand for it. They say, their press people say that this bacon, this like bacon substance is actually just as tasty as the bacon. Every once in a while they get that, we're going to give you bacon, and it's made from turkey. And there's no pig in turkey last time I looked, but there are ways that you can, approximate the flavor. But in this case, they're not necessarily approximating the flavor. They say they've absolutely got it. Yeah, made out of mushrooms. And I thought, Jerry's my vegan friend. He might be able to enjoy the concept.
I'm not a mushroom person, but this could be the thing.
Well, wait a second. You gave me a bag of mushroom seasoning. Mushroom seasoning, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
to replace my Ajinomoto addiction.
Yeah. Did it work for you?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So, that mushroom seasoning is a little bit different than actually ingesting mushrooms. But it's
I suppose. All right. Anyway, Jerry Roberts in this morning's Extra Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jer?
It might be the biggest irritant to workers, other than having your food stolen out of the company refrigerator. There's no love for this word today. In fact, the mere mention of it can make people groan in total anguish. I'll reveal that word next on the Extra Point.
fly to new experiences with 3 times United miles with First Hawaiian Bank's United credit card. Earn 3 times per dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels until February 28th, 2023, and 2 times miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
It's Friday, and we've got quotations, and our focus today is on the topic of meetings. Wait, you hate meetings so much that you don't even want to hear what others think about them? I might be there with you. Number 1, meetings are indispensable when you don't want to do anything. John Kenneth Galbraith, economist and U.S. ambassador to India. Charles Scharf, who was CEO of Wells Fargo Bank and one-time CEO of Visa, he said this: meetings should have as few people as possible, but all the right people. You just got to figure out who those right people are. Number 3, meetings should be like salt, a spice sprinkled carefully to enhance a dish, not poured recklessly over every forkful. Too much salt destroys a dish. Too many meetings destroys morale and motivation. Jason Fried, he founded a software called Basecamp. Number 4, from Hugh Park, British High Court judge: the world is run by those willing to sit until the end of meetings. Number 5, meetings move at the speed of the slowest mind in the room. Ooh, I know this guy, Dale Dalton. He's an author and leadership expert. Tim Cook, Apple CEO, said, the longer the meeting, the less is accomplished. 7, meetings are great opportunities to showcase your talent. Don't let them go to waste. Abhishek Ratna, he's an author. Number 8, a meeting is an event, probably an organization's greatest asset. Author Nancy Klein. Dave Barry, humorist, said, if you had to identify in one word the reason why the human race has not achieved and never will achieve its full potential, that would be meetings. It has to be awfully good. It has to be an awfully good meeting to beat having no meeting at all. Boyd Packer, religious leader, said that. And finally, number 15 comes from Thomas Sowell, economist and philosopher. He said, people who enjoy meetings should not be in charge of anything. And that's the extra point. Be responsible. Don't take meetings if you don't have to. And make something good happen today for 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
There's the truism from Bill Gibson. Can we put this in the bulletin? Can we send this out in an email? If it's all of that, I cannot tell you the worst day of the week for me for many years was Monday, because that was when they had the manager meetings on Monday. So rather than the boss getting together with individual groups of the company, we brought everybody into the company, and you've got people that are offering suggestions or solutions or whatever in parts of the operation that they had no clue about. And you just sit there and go, okay, I'll just sit back and be quiet until all of this is over and hopefully be able to get out by noon. And sometimes that was a stretch. 7:33 in the morning, Jerry Roberts and the Extra Point. A little bit of a blip in the feed, but you should be able to watch it in its entirety later on as a video on demand on YouTube. How do you get there? Go to thepoint.gu. You can watch the feed there, absolutely live, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you want to get to my YouTube page or Bob Klitsky's YouTube page, simply click on our names, and it will take you right to the feed. 7:33 in the morning now, and time for a big look at news and headlines brought to you by Auntie Lolita Kamet over at, where's she at? Holiday Realty. Oh, you know what I was thinking about, Auntie Lily, while you're out there? It is one of the days this week is Father-in-Law Day. Father-in-law Day. Now, of the times that I've been married, the father-in-law that stands out in my mind as the absolute best was Auntie Loli's brother. Tom. And Tom Pablo, an incredible guy. Hug and a kiss to him the next time you talk to him or see him. But let him know I'm thinking about him on Father-in-Law's Day. And anyway, if you want to buy a house for Uncle Tom, for Tom, by all means, go through Auntie Loli. She'll get you a great deal on whatever it is that you're looking at. Also being brought to you by Burger King. I love the Whopper is coming back on Wednesdays in August. That's good news number one. Good news number two, Chicken Fries Friday happening today at BK. Now, with news and headlines, Joanne Matanani. Alpha, what happened?
An independent investigative team found Officer Justin A.L. Kenga's actions were not clearly justified when he shot and killed Iopi Rudolph earlier this year. Kenga faces charges of manslaughter as a first-degree felony and negligent homicide as a third-degree felony in connection with the March 9 death at a Dededo Shell gas station. Kenga was placed on administrative leave while under investigation and is awaiting a court date. In other news, 2 DOC officers under investigation in connection with an escape at the prison in April have been suspended without pay. An internal affairs investigation revealed the officers violated security protocols at the time the detainee escaped. There has been no word whether the 2 unnamed officers plan to fight their suspension with the Civil Service Commission. Both remain employed with the department. And lastly, Freddie Cuevas Siswico was pulled over for a motor violation, but then attempted to evade police. When he was eventually caught, he admitted to a slew of crimes, including possession of meth, the sexual assault of an 8-year-old girl, and the theft of 13 vehicles and items totaling around $100,000. Siswico is currently charged with 2 counts of first and second-degree criminal sexual conduct as first-degree felonies. Those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
As I said, the magistrate report on this. There were two that came out yesterday from the courthouse. One of them was on the initial charge, and then the other one was the laundry list of things that police were also interested in talking to him about. And I was going to print it out until I realized it was 16 pages.
Yes, 25 cases he's suspected of being involved in.
Right. And the question is, how is it that he's still kind of out there doing whatever he wants? It sounds like he needs to have a day in court with the good prosecutor at the Attorney General's office and a tough on crime judge. Just asking. 7:36 in the morning. All right. Well, there's news and headlines. We'll take a look at what's going on your roadways here in just a second and see if I can get a pass at what. Oh boy, getting worse. Getting into and out of the Zonia area is getting worse. I'll put this up on the screen so you can take a look. But basically, from the river up the hill and down the hill, all the way to the turn over by Ricky's old house, and maybe even past the gas station right now, and the market up there. Expect delays in both directions. More on that in a sec.
The people of Guam are outraged at the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Paying more for gas, more for food, more for everything? How about something for free? For a limited time, switch to GTA and get 3 months free. Bring your phone with your number to GTA and get 3 months of free service when you sign up for any wireless unlimited plan. Plus, we'll waive activation fees and set you up with a free SIM card. Come into GTA today for the best truly unlimited wireless plans on the best network. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit gta.net. GTA, we start with you.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Okay. All right, 7:38 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show has said, looking at what looks like the worst of the traffic patterns this morning, from Zotnya down the hill all the way to by now the bridge, and Tenden Inda. Is that the name of the place where I like to go to get my Denancy?
Oh, it looks like it's before that.
Kind
There's a
of
traffic
around there.
accident. Yeah.
Is there an accident? Is that what we're working on? That's what it looks
I'm sending
like.
in a picture.
We have artwork of it. All right, I'll look for that in a second. Let me scooch out on this and see what else is happening on Guam's roadways. Looking for lousy traffic at Atacao and Gazanero. Not seeing it right now. Possible that those four-way stop signs turned into something that they'd wished we'd forget. We'll send the crews out there and find those signs and put them someplace else where they might be needed more. A little bit of traffic at Anderson Air Force Base. A little bit of traffic at Y Sang Song, probably around where they've got the construction going. 1 and 3, tiny bit busy. Marine Drive and the Micronesia Mall intersection, tiny bit busy as well. 8, 10, and 16 busy on the Route 10 side. 10 and 15, that intersection. Looking all right this morning. 4 and 10 is going to be very, very light because everybody's stuck behind that. Man, today would be, you know what they say, according to legend, and I think you have to be somebody from Zotnya to know, there is a way to go from Zotnya around Leo Palace and then out to Ordot. Now, you're a bicycle guy, right? You know that. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Have you traversed that?
You got to go through Pulantat.
Yes, Pulantat.
Watch out for the rat-tat-tat-tat.
Oh, really?
Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Pulantat-tat-tat.
Okay, all right.
Deep in Georgia, Ray.
Do you pass by the tanks or anything like that?
Oh, you pass by a lot of stuff.
How much red dirt are we? How much red dirt are we talking about, bro?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I've never that I know of. I've never been through there. But they say that there might be a way if it's open. If the gate is open over at the Leo Palace side, right? Don't they lock that?
There's always an open way.
There's always an open way.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. 7:40 in the morning. You might want to think about that because it looks like you're going to get delayed. Marine Corps Drive, southbound from Magana all the way to Big Navy, looking all right. At 7:40, this is the point.
Get ready to save up and chow down with Pacific Points. Now you can redeem Pacific Points for UnoGo wallet credits and enjoy huge savings on food delivery. Order from over 80 restaurants and have it delivered straight to your door. Continue earning points when you fuel up at Shell, shop at Foodies, purchase ITNE prepaid load, and pay your monthly ITNE bill. Then get ready to claim your rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
I love BK Chicken Fries. Chicken Fries Friday is back. Every Friday in July, visit any participating Burger King and say, I love BK Chicken Fries. And get a free 9-piece chicken fries with the purchase of a chicken fries combo meal. Perfect for dipping in our barbecue, honey mustard, ranch, zesty, and sweet and sour sauces. Top off your chicken fries with jalapeno bites and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Come and join our celebration every Friday at BK in Tumon Bay, Hagåtña at the Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
Tell me about it, stud.
Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Festival is back on Saturday, October 22nd. We rockin' and rollin' at the Dusatani Guam Resort from 2 to 10 p.m. Bring your friends and come dressed in your best grease costume to win up to $500 in cash and prizes. So bust out those leather jackets and 50-style outfits as we party the night away at Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Fest. Don't be a square. Get your tickets now at craftbeerfestguam.com or cruise on by any 76 Circle K location. Now that's cool, baby.
Oh, that's a
morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
Yeah.
Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
You can see it on the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Larson sent us a picture. We got a screen cap of downhill in Zotnya. That's Route 4 headed towards the Toyona Bridge and that area there. And it looks like just as you're southbound, just after you pass the lookout there, it looks like we've got a car that looks like it's jackknife and slowing down traffic, if not stopping traffic in both directions. And don't know about police on the scene, injuries or anything like that. This has been working now for about a half hour or so. So if you're going through there, expect delays. If you don't have time for the delays, either go all the way back around to Cross Island
Take the
Road.
long way home.
I wanted to see what they had at Sumai Payless anyway, right? So expect some delays on that side of the island, and may God have mercy on your soul. 7:43 in the morning. Coming up, Daphne Shimazu from the Department of Revenue and Taxation. A couple of interesting topics with her. One of them has to do with the idea that you will now be able to go and get yourself an application to be in the cannabis business here on Guam. We've gotten it to the point where they're ready to start accepting applications today. Yay! Another line at Revenue Tax to stand in. Yay! And another excuse to go and stand in the line over at the treasurer. Anyway, so you got that. Then there's the other thing. Is these guys I think are going to be the conduit, if you will, to a degree. But I'm going to be getting a $500 credit on my power bill. Thank you for the federal funds. Oh, wait. We're not using federal funds for that, right? That's the overpayment on the taxes. Anyway, I'm going to get a $500 credit on that, and I'm curious as to whether or not that will count as income for my taxes for this year. Will that count as additional revenue to me? Is the question, and is it something that I will have to tell Benita when she puts together my paperwork for the taxes next year? Let her know that was in there. I don't know. I don't know if there's a string between my Guam Power Authority account and my Social Security number and other identification where somebody over at Revenue Tax say, he's $500 richer now because he didn't have to pay that bill to the GPA. Maybe we ought to tax that. I don't know that they're going to garnish it, but I'm just kind of curious about all of that. 7:45, and as I said, the folks from All In took an opportunity to claim victory in the debate last night. Tonight's debate, hosted by the GMA, gave voters an opportunity to see a clear contrast between the two Democratic gubernatorial teams' knowledge, experience, and solutions, or empty commiserations. Governor Lilian Guerrero was clearly in her element, drawing on her more than 30 years of experience as a nurse and sharing her administration's solutions for our island's healthcare challenges, physician and nursing shortages, the reasons for a new medical campus at Eagles Field, working on getting GMH reaccredited by next year, and expanded Medicaid access for thousands of residents, said Roy Respicio, campaign manager. Contrasting the concrete answers of Governor Lilian Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio were Delegate and Democratic gubernatorial challenger MSN and his running mate Sabrina Salas-Matanani, who, for many of the questions, could only respond that they were listening to the professionals in the audience and would follow their lead. In contrast, Governor Lilian Guerrero made it clear that her health care decisions are primarily in the patient's best interests. All right, so I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to be a good listener. Probably not the best answer in the whole wide world from the political perspective. Did we just have Tom Shea on the radio just a few minutes ago talking about how encouraged he was to hear somebody at the stage say, you know what? The best ideas and maybe the better solutions are going to come from people in the healthcare community, people just like you sitting in the audience. So while that might not have resonated, while that might not have been the best political debate answer, it's possible that among the people that paid for the chairs in that room might have been one of those, well, it's about time you guys spent some time listening to me. Governor Lilian Guerrero made it clear that her health care decisions are primarily in the patient's best interest. Now, if you were watching it, you'll know exactly where that came from. And it was a question about whether or not, what the applicability of building this medical campus out on Route 15 was, when you take a look at where virtually all of our health care on Guam is centered. And it is within about 3/4 of a mile of the existing Guam Memorial Hospital. There's clinics, there's pharmacies, there's all the specialties and specialists that you can get out there. We've probably got the Pacific's best imaging in like the entire Pacific right there, not too far away from the Tamuning Payless, as a matter of fact. It's 64 sliced toasters. I remember it was a long time ago, 17 years ago now, because my daughter is 17, but I remember the miracle, and there weren't too many of these things in the world, but the miracle of the 3D imaging. Did you get that with Ruckus? When it was almost time for Ruckus to be born, did you go and get the 3D ultrasound?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that was significant technology, and I think we still lead the region in that kind of thing. And so what are they saying? Well, just, you know what? We can have all of that in Tamuning, and the doctors that might have patients in our hospital, it's okay. All they got to do is go up Marine Corps Drive and then go to Agania, get on Route 4, and make your way up to Route 10, and then 10 to 15. It's just a hop and a skip and a jump from where your office is. So there's a lot of people that are saying, no, that's not right. But the governor says, well, it'll be better for the patients. Okay, well, that begs the question, well, what good is it for the patients if they get to the hospital and their doctor isn't there to meet them, to deliver the baby or conduct the surgery or whatever? So you can take the distinctions into conversations the way you will. We believe tonight's debate and the response offered by Governor Lou and Governor Josh will energize voters and are a great way to kick off early voting, said Rory. Governor LG and Lieutenant Governor Tenorio will never miss an opportunity to make the case for 4 more years to continue progress, stability, and to move our island forward. All right, there it is, a reading from the all-in camp. Have not yet seen anything from the Democrat Party of Lulian Guerrero. Normally by now, what's his name, Chirag or Tony? Who's in charge of that now? Do we know who's in charge of the Democrat Party of Guam? Is there anybody?
Yeah, I think it's Tony.
Tony wasn't at the debate last night. I mean, if he was, I didn't see him.
No, Rodriguez.
Oh, that would be, that's Dennis. T-Rod, D-Rod, whichever.
I kid.
10 away from the top of the hour. 888-8255-888-TALK is my phone number. You want to reach out to me or hit me up with some comments. By all means, accident is not on Pago Bay, north side of the bridge. Just came from there. Frank, I appreciate that. And you are welcome to send me pictures as well. Frank, this is Frank Cruz from KFC, by the way. And I don't know if you heard me talking about it, but I took your advice, took your suggestion. My lunch yesterday came from KFC, spicy zinger. And it was so nice. The lady apologized. She said, you know what, Ray, I'm sorry. I don't have, there's no tomatoes today. And I said, Daijibu is okay. I'm all right. Because I really came for the popcorn chicken and the mac and cheese that they've got there. Frank Cruz's suggestion was you take the mac and cheese and you mix it in with the popcorn chicken. And it will literally change your life. It did for me. 10 away from the top of the hour. Is that Daphne? Are we working through Daphne? All right, put her on hold, and we'll jump into that conversation in a second. You remember the other day I was talking about getting a survey? Somebody called me on my phone and wanted to ask me some survey questions. Yeah. And then when they found out I was 60.
They hung up on you?
No, they didn't hang up. He said he said goodbye first and then hung up. No. Well, this concludes our information time with you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And I'm going, wait. What could they possibly have been doing a survey on where the comments of a half-white, male, heterosexual, would not, over the age of 60 years old, were not pertinent. And the truth of the matter is, guys, is there's a whole lot of businesses that as soon as you hit 60, write you off. You're invisible to us now. Like a man in front of a 20-year-old girl, 35-year-old man in front of a 20. Forget it. They don't see you. Unless they got a dad thing, not even looking. 751 and change. Daphne Shimazu from the Department of Revenue and Tax Online. Good morning, Daph. How you doing?
Happy day, Ray. We're doing well. How are you?
Never better. I'm wearing my pink shirt with my collar up. That's how you know I'm in a totally groovy mood, right?
I will remember that.
Thank you so much. A couple of questions for you. Number one, I'm going to open up my cannabis smoking and mushroom eating cafe. Is that a separate business license with the Department of Revenue and Taxation because it's cannabis related?
So, with regards to cannabis licensing, and as you know, the Department of Revenue and Taxation, we sit on the board of the Cannabis Control Board. We also provide the support for it. With regards to any licensing, well, first of all, yes, all cannabis licenses are separate types of licenses. There is a cultivation license. There's going to be a license for a lab. There's a retail license, and then there's 4 different types of licenses. And so if you are, and anything that has to do with anything that, if there's food or anything that is absorbed by the body, all of those, it's similar to what we deal with restaurants where we have environmental health, the division of Department of Public Health and Social Services comes in. So the licensing process will be similar to the business licensing process where, the documents will will originate at the Department of Revenue and Taxation. We will be providing those to the applicant who is hoping to get licensed, and that person or company will work to get clearances from the various agencies to include Public Health, EPA, the Department of Land Management, the Department of Public Works, Guam Fire Department. Again, similar to the process that we see for the usual.
Just another desk I have to stand in front of, right?
Well, our team that is working on the cannabis licensing is actually our compliance team, and they do alcohol and tobacco. So it's that team. So
okay.
So it's the same group. It's our compliance group, and it's been quite a lot of work. But just to share with you, Ray, we did have a Cannabis Control Board meeting this past Monday, I believe, and at that time we did share with the board members, the August 29, which is a Monday, which is not too far away from now, is the first day that, is the 90-day mark, after the rules and regs became officially adopted, right? And at that time, we're, and there are multiple different types of licenses, and there is a process. So the first step is going to be able to get a responsible official application and to get, that piece done, because an actual license for a cannabis business cannot be applied for without having a responsible official. So the very first step and the very first applications that we'll be accepting or working to accept is going to be for the responsible official.
Right.
And so that is what we're slated to begin in August 29. However, there are, several things that have to be addressed. There is, in order to be able to sell any product, there has to be a lab. My understanding is there currently is not a lab, a testing lab that's available or that's licensed, and that's one area. As you know, also we're also addressing the issue of banking, which has been
So in my pretend case, Daff, in my pretend case, I'm going to call it a cannabis cafe. I might not sell it. I might not be the dispensary, though there might be consumption of cannabis on my property. Would I still need to get that lab report? Would I still need to go through that process?
Well, if you were going to be engaged in commerce, you should have a license, right?
Yes.
And my understanding is, of course, when it comes to commerce and when it comes to items being sold and they are going to be consumed, again, there is, one, you always want to make sure that you're properly licensed, and two, there is a safety aspect of it. And so, those are things that we have been discussing with public health as well. What I've learned, and I have learned through this process, is that the cannabis that we see now and how it's quite a science, and it's very interesting because it's actually quite sophisticated. It's a quite sophisticated industry with a lot of different types of products, and now of course people are able to isolate or breed for potency and very high potency. And so all of that, again, is very important.
Has to be tested. All right, Daff, I got a couple other things I wanted to ask you before we get done. I've got a $500 credit coming my way from the government of Guam, and they're going to help me pay my power bill at the house. I'm very, very happy about that, and that means that I've got more money to spend on hookers and booze. Anyway, yeah, so I've got a little bit extra. Will that count as income for me and for the tax purposes for 2022?
I actually will have to get back to you on that. My first inclination is to say no. When we saw programs happen, like we did have a couple local programs, Studio Mangaspa and also the All Rights program, and those actually were not considered income. And there are certain situations where if you are, again, those particular items, they were not considered income because they met the requirements, in the code to not be included because they had to do with the public health emergency.
But this money does not. This money does not. This is not coming out of ARP funds. This comes from the local government.
No, not necessarily that it's coming from ARP funds. It's not the use of funds, but it's the reason for the payment of the funds.
I see.
Yeah. So if and again, I would have to go back to it because my team, we wanted to make sure that we did proper research because the question of, is the All Right program payment income is my duty and McGuffin payment, which we, again, did back in 2020, are these income? And even if Program Fluffy is income, right, those are the questions that have been asked. And you know what, as we did our research, we found that those were not. And so, again, the first inclination, my first gut feeling is that it's likely not because, again, it is related to again, it's related to COVID, right? It's related to us trying to address the issue of this public health emergency.
Man, can you imagine if it is considered income, then who's going to issue the 1099s for that?
Well, the great thing is it falls below the ceiling for a 1099. I believe it's 1099. I'm sorry, it falls below the floor. So generally, if you make less than $600, or if it's a payment below $600, and you don't have to worry about, the entity that is making the payment doesn't have to worry about this 1099 issuance.
Well, I tell you what, that's all the time I got, Daph. I appreciate yours because I know how busy you are, crazy busy over at the Department of Revenue and Taxation. If I get any more questions, we'll find a way to wrangle you up and get you back on the air.
I appreciate you more, Ray, and you know what? Have a great day. Bye.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm going to have a great day as well. A hug and a kiss to your hot sister, Dana.
Oh, wow, Ray.
She always hangs up right before I say that. You know what? Like she's
but
like,
she's awesome.
I need to get off the phone right now before he starts talking about my hot sister Dana. Okay, I got it this time. 7:59 and change, closing in about 30 seconds away from the top of the hour. Brian Chargaloff, our buddy, is chimed in on the Gizmo and says, I took the Pulanta Express and saved myself some precious time because there is an accident on Route 4. I'm looking at it right now on the screen, and it is wrecking havoc anywhere between the entrance to Tagatsing Beat. Well, it looks like it's clearing up just a little bit now from where it was a few seconds ago. So maybe some good news for you as you're trying to get out of Zotnya into Route 10 or wherever. It's 8. Here's the point and the news.
At economic news, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. 2 quarters of a slumping gross domestic product and higher prices and mortgage rates, but President Biden staying on message.
Both Chairman Powell and many of the significant banking personnel and economists say we're not in a recession.
The president saying unemployment is low when businesses are hiring. Republicans say the president's policies are driving inflation.
Today's Democratic Party is a walking, talking economic disaster.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, despite the news on the GDP, stocks closed higher. The Dow added 332, the Nasdaq plus 130, the S&P gained 48. The president hailing the passage of a measure that will create more high-tech jobs.
President Biden interrupted a roundtable with business leaders. As word got to him, the House had the votes to approve the CHIPS Plus Science Act.
The House has passed it.
President Biden had urged passage of the bill, providing more than $50 billion in federal grants and tax incentives for the semiconductor industry and billions more for other scientific and high-tech research. About 24 Republicans joined nearly every Democrat in the House to vote for the bill, 243 to 187.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The measure lost some Republican support after Democrats unveiled a $739 billion health care and climate change bill last night. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear has declared a state of emergency after heavy rains have killed at least 3 people.
We're currently experiencing one of the worst, most devastating flooding events in Kentucky's history.
Beshear says property damage has been massive and hundreds of people have lost their homes. More than 30,000 customers remain without power. America is listening to Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
A new round of attacks targeting Ukrainian cities.
For the first time in weeks, Russian forces launched a barrage of missiles into northern Ukraine. Some targeted a power plant just outside Ukraine's capital of Kyiv, as the country marked Statehood Day for the first time. Ukrainian officials say the timing of the attack is not a coincidence. They are the latest in a series of Russian missile strikes away from the front lines. Officials say 25 missiles were fired into Ukraine from neighboring Belarus to the north, others from bombers and warships. Senior Ukrainian officials tell Fox Russian spies in Ukraine are acting as spotters to call in the strikes. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
Twitter is warning that governments around the world are asking it to remove content or snoop on private details of user accounts in what it's calling an alarming rate. Another insurance company will stop writing and renewing homeowner policies in Florida.
Bankers Insurance Group is the latest company to cease homeowner policies in Florida. They're the seventh such company to do so in a matter of months. Mark Friedlander of the Insurance Information Institute says Florida is too lawsuit happy and insurance companies are losing big.
Going to be 80% or more of the entire population of property claim lawsuits in the U.S.
It follows a special legislative session in Florida aimed at increasing state-paid reinsurance for these companies, but the same state agency is what insures property owners who lose commercial coverage. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Tyler Perry, one of 5 people set to receive an honorary AARP award. The organization says Perry will get its Purpose Prize during a ceremony this fall for his commitment to helping communities and helping people overcome obstacles through his foundation, which focuses on education, health, and human rights. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approve this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam, Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
The people of Guam are outraged at the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Joanne Matanani with a look at your local news on The Point. GPA is projecting a decline in the price of diesel fuel over the next several months, though the utility continues to face significant under-recovery. GPA General Manager John Beneventi said it's still too early to propose any changes in the fuel surcharge. The surcharge, officially known as the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, or LEAC, is the portion of the monthly power bill that pays for the fuel needed to power island generators. The LEAC has been rising since February 2021, with the most recent set of increases beginning in July. The second rate hike for this set of increases will take effect in September. The PUC will decide at its October meeting whether there is a need to increase the LEAC again for November through the end of January. Beneventi indicated there could still be some hope for cheaper rates down the line if oil prices continue to fall. In other news, a GPD officer has been indicted on charges in connection with the deadly shooting at a Dead Rochelle gas station earlier this year. AG Leven Camacho said the independent investigative team found Officer Justin A.L. Kenga's actions were not clearly justified when he shot and killed EOP Rudolph. Kenga faces charges of manslaughter as a first-degree felony and negligent homicide as a third-degree felony in connection with the March 9 death. The encounter between Rudolph and police began at 8 that night when GPD received a call about a man firing a slingshot near the gas station. Officers tried to detain the man. In the ensuing moments, Officer Kenga discharged his firearm and struck Rudolph, who was then taken to GRMC, where he was pronounced dead. Kenga was placed on administrative leave. The IT completed their investigation on March 24, and GPD spokesperson Berlin Savella said that the department is mindful that Officer Kenga is presumed innocent until proven guilty. More local news coming up after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
The Defense Department is pouring another $98.5 million to existing military buildup construction contracts on Guam. This will push the costs over the $1 billion mark. Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command Pacific announced the modifications to current construction contracts yesterday. The previous total of $990 million will now increase to $1.8 billion. NAVFAC says the scope of the work includes construction and renovation of living quarters, administrative, communicative, and educational facilities, as well as ranges, roads, bridges, and other base infrastructure. Project completion is expected by September 2024. And lastly, 39-year-old Teddy Salas is making big waves. Salas garnered an Emmy nomination in the category of Outstanding Sound Mixing for a Comedy or Drama Series for his work on the Barry episode entitled All the Sauces. Born and raised on island with roots in Haget and Santa Rita, the Southern High School alumnus left a year after graduation to further his education. He was introduced to the art of post-production and sound for film and television, and later interned at a studio, falling further in love with the craft. Salas has been employed by Sony Picture Sound for the last 4 years and says it's been a wild ride and a lot of fun. One of the things he really encourages is the power of connecting and networking. His advice to those who are pursuing their dreams is to take some risks. He stated there is a fear of the unknown, but sometimes you just have to dip your toe in the water and see what happens. Residents can find the Barry series on HBO Max streaming service to get a glimpse of Salas's work. Those are your top stories. Now back to Ray with the weather.
Right. Ray Gibson motto, courage is always rewarded. There are risks out there. There are rewards out there. And a lot of times they balance out. And you never know until you try. 8:11 in the morning. I'll get around to doing that. Now, what I like to do with Donna around the 8 o'clock hour after the newscast is to go over celebrity birthdays and things like that. Because this might be the last opportunity that we have, because the news at the bottom of the hour, and then it's jam time, right? So,
where is she?
Huh?
Who's holding Donna now?
I love that song. It brings a tear to
she's probably listening, right, Joe?
Oh, because she's compulsive that way, absolutely. So I got that coming up next. In the meantime, I will give you some weather. Mostly cloudy today, highs near 84 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 11 miles an hour. Just got a note from Brian Chargaloff, who was talking about. He said, "Oh yeah, I took the Palantat Speedway. I took that and was able to avoid the traffic. Unfortunately, coming out on the other side, hitting drive time traffic in the downtown Agutnia area. And yeah, it's working like that. Just real quick." On the traffic side, it looks like things have cleared up for the most part over in Zotnia, but there is some ugly traffic still on Route 16, Route 8, a little bit of intersection traffic through most of Tumuning and Upper Tumon. We'll take another look at that later on. Mostly cloudy though, highs near 84 degrees, and the southeast winds up to about 5 to 11 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy in the forecast tonight, partly sunny. which is the same as saying mostly cloudy. It's like that, right? So we got that for tomorrow, and then mostly cloudy tomorrow night, partly sunny in the forecast for Sunday. And you're going to it's going to be one of those where if the sun comes out, go and get it. Be prepared to bug out at a moment's notice because the rains and the showers could start falling on you almost immediately. This would be a good time. It's not that I'm a plug for them, but this would be a good time for someplace like that hermit crab, where they've got areas out in the open that you can kind of sit out there and bask in the sun. But if it starts raining again, the area in front of the massive stage that they've got, absolutely covered. They've got a bunch of these like gazebos, like the kind that you find over at Home Depot, bunch of those kinds of things. So you can protect yourself from the rain over at that place. And you ought to, at least at some point this weekend, swing by the hermit crab. What day did you say the big 80s, 90s thing is?
August something, Ray. Oh, it was yesterday, bro. My memory doesn't go that far back.
What's the word that rhymes with useless? I can't remember. I think it was the 6th. It was the 6th of August, so next Saturday, right? From 7 until midnight over at the Hermit Crab. That's where it's going to be. And I want all of my 80s and 90s friends, everybody that used to listen to me over at Hit Radio 100 and then Power 98, everybody that used to listen to me when I was doing music radio, and we used to go and hang out at places like, oh my God, there was the Captain's Table. And then where were some of the other spots we used to like to go to? Top of the Reef, for sure, over in the Tumon area. 10-4. Used to hang out over at the 10-4. There was a time you could literally go out every night of the week. And there was always a bar, a club somewhere that had a groovy night. I mean, even on Sunday, that's a diehard night, right? So I'd go and watch Patrick Palomo and a guy named Kenny Washington, who wasn't any taller than the Fireplug, but just an incredible voice. And that was Sunday night. It's like you partied all weekend long, and it gets to be Sunday, and you still got it in you. So you're like, yeah, go and hang out there. But, 80s and 90s, my God, we live like kings, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to relive those moments next Saturday over at the Hermit Crab. 8:14 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. That's news and weather together. I'll be right back.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
It's the 76 Circle K and GTA Prepaid Ultra Giveaway. From now until August 31st, enter to win a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, plus a $600 76 gas card, and more. Come into any participating 76 Circle K location, buy $5 or more of GTA Prepaid Load, and receive an entry form for every $5 you spend. The more you top up, the more chances you have of winning. Stay connected and win this summer with GTA Prepaid and Circle K. Visit GTA.net for more information.
We'll do 8:15 in the morning. Some of the other spots I was trying to think of off the top of my head, but I'm old now, so it takes me a second. Rockstar over at the what is now the Riga. Used to be a bar.
Really?
Yeah, used to be a nightclub in there. Totally produced by this Japanese guy, super groovy guy, and he produced it like a Japanese kind of intimate disco, and it was awesome. It was awesome. It lasted like 10 minutes. One of my favorite karaoke places, Chartiz up in Mighty, which is now the headquarters for the Guam National Olympic Committee. And then, of course, there was Lights and Onyx Globe over at the Sandcastle. Incredible places, incredible music, and we're bringing them all back. 8:16 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the Ron and Kim over at Security Title. Absolutely delighted to help you out with generally a lot of real estate questions having to do with title and clear title on the property, which is absolutely vital in the transaction. Anything less than clear, and it will slow you down. But wouldn't it be terrible to find out that you'd bought something and the guy's like, oh man, it's still in probate, and you got to wait. Find out all of this stuff at the beginning of the process with Ron and Kim at Security Title.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
Okay, Hibiscus was fun too. And what was the name of the place over at Pac Star down at the bottom by the bridge? There was a little place I can never remember because it's like named after a star, something like that, and I can't remember the name of it. But that was another kind of groovy place to go. There was even a place I'm thinking about it, at the Westin, where they do the magic show now downstairs. There used to be a club down there. Carme, I think, was the name of it, and that was really groovy. And they absolutely loved the place until people started getting into fights. And yeah, there were some knockdown, drag out fights there at the place. But I tell you what, while it was open and while they had the stomach for it, that was a groovy kind of bar.
Galaxy.
Galaxy over at. How do you forget that? Galaxy was in a place called
Mark Cruz,
the Pacific Star. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Anyway, 8:18 in the morning. I'm sorry, and Anthony Sherrill is sending me the message now. When and where? Saturday night starts at 7. We'll go until midnight, and you might be wondering, okay, is there a strategic deal on why 7 to midnight? Because people in that age group now probably haven't seen midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning for a long time. So we'll load everything up and get you home in time so that you can still wake up on Sunday morning for early mass. 8:18 on the Ray Gibson Show. And as I said, there's some interesting times that are floating around these days. Front page of today's Guam Pacific Daily News has got a picture of a guy, and this looks like the Payless out in Mighty, and that's what it looked like the last time I was by there. And I'm not going to say the shelves are empty, but there sure is a whole lot less of the inventory that we're used to seeing. Now, we talked with Kathy last week about the genesis of this, and apparently one of the ships broke down, but they were able to get it, the containers, I guess, Kathy, were moved onto a ship that was headed out here, right?
Good morning, Ray.
Buenas.
Actually, buenas. If you look at that photo, and I just actually picked it up, and you compare it to what is actual virtual today, it's night and day. Our shelves we're back in business. We anticipated this would happen probably on Tuesday, Wednesday, but yes, Thursday afternoon, our shelves were starting to really get nice and full. The delayed shipment of last week, so it was supposed to arrive on Tuesday, and we notified you all that it would be late. So the Matson ship arrived Wednesday, and it was all hands on deck. Everything was pushed out as soon as possible. As we shared last week, we anticipated the produce and the chill area would be the hardest hit, and that was in fact the case. Matson has been very, very cooperative, and we're working on identifying produce that were not up to par. And but for the most part, most of the produce that you are looking for throughout the week should be there right now.
I didn't have any problems. I went and did a couple more rounds of shopping over at the Mighty Shop, and I did not find, I did not run into anything that I needed that I could not find in the store. And I was delighted with the selection of the meats that I was looking at. I don't normally pick up a whole lot of red meat, but there were some cuts that I saw that I said, I'm going to be crazy about this. But they had plenty of the kind of pork that I wanted, plenty of the kind of chicken that I was looking for. So I really did not miss. Obviously, the produce section was thinner than normal. Produce section looked more like it did in the newspaper today. But you said that everything has gone through the quality control, and now all of those shelves should be back to pay less normal.
It should, and those that are inferior, we've marked down. And then the regular load that should have come in on Tuesday has a 4-day delay. So we're going to be really pushing it out on Saturday when the ship arrives. So that's going to be
another all hands day.
Right.
What are you going to do if you have excesses of? So you've got basically a couple of shipments almost on top of each other here. What do you do when you have too much of mushrooms or garlics and onions and potatoes?
Well, the mushrooms, the tomatoes, those are the ones that we have had to put a claim on. Cherries, bell peppers, those are the sensitive produce items you won't find on the shelves. Asparagus, and we're hoping to get those Saturday. I think we'll be okay. if we have a glut, we'll certainly mark it down. But
well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear as well. I'm happy to hear that. As I said, there are a lot of people that get a little bit of alarmed when we hear that when the notice goes out that says that the ship hasn't come in and you can expect limited supplies. And as I said, I was delighted when I went in. Everything that I was looking for. Though I will say, I'm a bachelor, right? I'm a bachelor, so my needs, my grocery needs, aren't the same as say a family of 4 or 5. So I can appreciate some of the difficulties that people have been under. And it doesn't look like, now that this particular crisis is over, just a reminder that there are still supply chain issues all up and down your industry, aren't there?
I shared that with you last week, that it's pretty much across the board. There would be a byproduct of a certain grocery item or a chill item that would create an allocation issue. And we're receiving reports that the complete allocation won't be available till 4 months, 6 months, till next year. So you're absolutely correct. The supply chain has been totally disrupted. We're seeing that in grocery. We're seeing that in our construction material for a mall store. It's pretty much a worldwide issue.
Yeah. Well, there's another wrinkle on this. They quote Hermie from over at Micronesian Brokers. He says some items are no longer being manufactured or produced. And you're obviously a little bit closer to that on the grocery store side. Are there things that were for sale at Payless before that aren't available now because the manufacturer just isn't creating it anymore?
Well, I think what a lot of the manufacturers are doing, they're downsizing their SKUs with variety, which makes sense. So if you like a particular flavor, it just is much more cost efficient to look at your top moving items. So I'm sure that's the case.
Yeah. So plenty of mac and cheese, but not a lot of Cheetos mac and cheese, as an example.
Probably.
Well, as I said, hey, bachelor over here. I gotta sit on the same side of the table as me and my other guys out there. Well, I'm glad that you guys are past this. I know it's going to be a little bit rocky, with the stuff that got old while it was waiting to get here. But new supplies are going to be coming in. Tomorrow is Saturday, and I anticipate that by the time it gets to be Sunday and Monday, people will have just a dim memory of all of this.
Yeah, so by next week, we should be totally back in business. Things should be back to the routine. But we really wanted to give the community a heads up in anticipating this situation. But the shipping line, Matson, has been extremely cooperative in maneuvering us through the process.
Well, they got to eat too. I'm just saying, Kat. Hey, listen, it's always fun talking with you. I hope to see you out there on the trail one of these nights.
Be safe.
I will. I will. You too. Kathy Calvo from the Payless family here talking about some of the issues that they've got. So if you looked in the newspaper today and said, oh, man, look at that. Willem Twilliger is shopping over at the Payless, and he bought the last of the really, really good supplies. No, they when you get there today, and in fact, maybe if you're listening to the broadcast right now and headed to one of the Payless, do me a favor while you're in there. Snag a picture of it and send it. Is 671-797-8255 so that we can take a look at it. Joe?
Oh, a happy anniversary shout out.
To
former Governor Paul Calvo and Rosie.
Oh,
Calvo.
Uncle Paul and Auntie Rosie.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that in the media yesterday.
Yeah.
You're right. How come you didn't tell me that before we
I
got
didn't
in the
know
call?
Mark called me, man. Mark has all the information.
He's like no, he's like that. That guy. That's my permanent spy, bro. All right, 8:26 in the morning. 888-8255 888-TALK is the telephone number on the radio station in these parts. Interesting. I don't know. Somebody's asking me if I want to go. Apparently, I might have lucked my way into a ticket for the pink ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and considering I'm wearing pink today, my bro called me up and sent me a text message wondering if I want to go. Now, he might be asking me on a date, which is the other thing. So I've got to get some clarity here on this before I say yes.
They're going to make you work, Ray.
I've never been to okay,
They're going to invite you and be like, here's a mic, Ray.
This is one of those things that might strike you as I've never actually been to a pink ball. Serious. Serious. You know, it was always one of those things that it seemed to be aimed at the demographic of like Kai and Kyle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It was like, because they were the ones that were like doing the hosting and everything, and the GYP crowd and all of that.
You gonna wear tennis shoes?
I would have to wear tennis shoes. I don't own any. I don't have any nice shoes anymore. And I don't need them either. 8:27, Ray Gibson Show. And celebrity birthdays, now that we've got some time to get through this. Are you ready?
Yay.
All right, here it comes. Celebrity birthdays for today. Filmmaker Ken Burns is 69 years old. Some of you may only be familiar with Ken Burns because you have the Movie Maker on your Apple computer.
Yes.
And there is a filter. There's a Ken Burns filter on it that does that thing where it takes a picture and just kind of will cross the picture and make it look like there's some kind of emotion going on here. Anyway, 69 years old. Will Wheaton.
Wesley.
Yes.
What?
Yep.
Stand By Me. The little kid in Stand By Me. Are you ready for this? You're not, but I'll tell you anyway. He's 50. The guy is, Will Wheaton is 50 years old. Can you imagine that? What was I watching over there? I was watching Full Metal Jacket on the television yesterday.
Yeah.
D'Onofrio's in that.
Wow.
Right? So I'm watching the thing, and I'm going, wait a second, isn't that the old guy in Stranger Things? It's the old guy in Stranger Things, right? The doctor of 11, the papa of 11. That's the same guy as in Full Metal Jacket.
Do you do that in the middle of movies, Ray?
What's that?
Do you do that in the middle of movies?
Where? Yeah. Where I go? Wait a
Like,
second.
isn't
I know
that
this
the guy from that thing?
It's the guy from the guy from the guy. And then I got to call Dennis Benzer and say, Dennis, this is I'm right, aren't I? Anyway, so happy
IMDb that. I always have IMDb.
Well, that's what the DB stands for, is Dennis Benzer.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize it. Thank you very much. It's Chicken Wing Day. Okay, there's a whole discussion about this. Oh, hold on, there's a whole discussion on Chicken Wing Day with an outfit that I every once in a while I'll read from them on the radio. But basically, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier in the week with regard to chicken wings and the generation, again, the Kai and Kyle generation or whatever. That generation doesn't like chicken wings the same way we do. They want to eat it with no bones.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have a word for that. It's nuggets. You're talking about chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on. You slackers, it's all right. Just go ahead and figure out how to take the bones out of it and eat it that way. But it's just unbelievable. So Chicken Wings Day, and get the chicken wings. You got to shop around now. I don't know if you've noticed this. When I started hanging out, the wing place I like to go to was Cass's place down in Slippery Fish. Every Wednesday night, they had a chicken wing night. And you can go in there with like $10 in your pocket and get a cold beer and what felt like an entire plate of chicken wings. And any more these days, when I'm buying chicken wings, it feels like they're $1 each.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 25 cents a piece from back in the old days. And I was at some place recently, and I said, "Yeah, give me some chicken wings." I want to say it was $20 worth of chicken wings, and I got 10 wings out of the. They were good. I will tell you that they were excellent. But I'm looking at the prices of this kind of thing, and there are people that are old enough that will remember, and it will sound harsh, but there are people that are old enough that will remember. Yeah. Only poor people ate chicken wings because it was the only thing that they could afford at the grocery store, and they were nothing you could get. And there was a little bit of meat. The chicken wings were such. It was a waste item for a lot of these butchers, and who would normally take everything else and sell it to like cat food companies. And they tried for a while to sell chicken wings to cat food companies, and they said it was just too difficult too hard to get that little bit of meat out. It didn't make a financial sense to them. So even cat food companies wouldn't buy chicken wings. And then some guy somewhere figured out how to make chicken wings taste like buffalo. You put some chili and hot sauce on it, and everybody's all of a sudden very, very happy.
My favorite is wings to foul, Ray. It falls right off the bone.
Oh, my God.
Donna and I can put a hurting on some chicken wings.
I know exactly what you mean. Big Sister Shelley has a recipe for what we like to call soy sauce chicken. And it's whatever vegetables that are almost ready to throw away, and you stick that in there, and there's soy sauce, and there's garlic, and then you throw the chicken in there and cook it basically all day. Basically all day. Try it. If you've got an Instapot, I would urge you to try it in an Instapot. Another, and the guys over at KFC will vouch for me on this one. One of the other things, God, we could do food all morning, right? Because it's Friday. And I've actually tried out the recipe, and it's actually really, really good. Very, very simple. So you get your rice cooker, right? Correct? And you make the rice. You wash the rice 4 times until there's no more white coming off of it. And then you don't put water. You put chicken broth. You put chicken broth in there, and then you go to KFC and get yourself about a 3-piece and put all 3 of the pieces into the rice cooker.
Just like original recipe?
Original recipe, just regular OG recipe, and then you press to cook and make it cook, and then you come back about 18, 20 minutes later. The chicken obviously is cooked. All of the great 11 herbs and spices now have come from the chicken and mixing with the broth and the rice. Soy sauce, Tabasco, cold beer of your favorite vintage, and all of a sudden you become the happiest guy in the world. All starts with a trip to KFC. You don't have to pay for that one, Frank. And other celebrities, over the weekend, Paul Anka turns 81 years old.
Oh, yeah, who's that, man?
Paul Anka was my mom's favorite singer when she was a little girl. Arnold Schwarzenegger turned 75 years old.
Wow.
Arnold. This is the part where we do our worst.
Man. I'm not really a big fan of him anymore.
You don't like...
I liked when he was Conan.
He kind of switched over. I know what you mean. His politics don't feel the way that they did before. Gotcha. Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix.
Oh, nice.
Turned 61 years old.
Yeah, Morpheus.
Yes, Morpheus.
Hilary Swank.
Ow.
Oh, yeah.
Ow.
Hilary Swank. When she was in the Karate Kid movie, I was kind of crushing on her. Yeah. I was kind of crushing on her. Not so much after $1 Million Baby and stuff like. Because over the years she's started to look like me. And no longer think I've got a crush. Now this is still, she's 48. This is still crush worthy. Jamie Presley. Jamie Presley, who was the hotness in My Name Is Earl. And not another teen movie. And there are pictures of her floating around on the internet. But Jamie Presley, great talent, arguably one of the prettiest women on television while they were still making My Name Is Earl. Mark Cuban turned 64 years old. Wesley Snipes is 60. Have you seen the recent pictures of Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Pipes.
Yeah. He's going through something. I'm almost positive. I think he's got a weird kind of fashion thing. If you don't believe me, look up Wesley Snipes and see what he wore to whatever the last big...
He's turning into Rodman, I think.
Award show.
So is he channeling Noxzema Jackson from Tu Wong Fu?
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Oh, man, because I loved him there.
But an older version, like an older, crazy cat lady version.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look it up and you go, oh my God, you're absolutely right. Dean Cain is 56 years old. We remember him from the Lois and Clark movies.
Superman.
From back in the day. Yeah, Superman. All right, Father-in-Law Day over the weekend. Spent some time talking about that. It is Avocado Day on Sunday. And I saved this one in particular for Joanne because she's, of a musical background.
Yes.
It is Uncommon Instrument Awareness Day.
Okay.
And uncommon instruments that you are familiar with, maybe because, orchestras and bands and things like that. What is one out of the ordinary that there are really only a handful of guys that you know of that play them?
Well, I know really old stuff like things called the sackbut.
A what?
A sackbut. It's an ancient...
Tantalizing. Go ahead.
Yes, it's an ancient instrument. Kind of resembles a primitive trombone. Sackbut.
Does it work the same way? Same principle?
Same principle, nearly same principle. Not made of brass though, and it's been coming back. A version of an instrument called the hurdy-gurdy.
The hurdy-gurdy.
The hurdy-gurdy. You crank on one end, and you manipulate some
keys.
Like kind of like keys and switches with your other hand. So hurdy-gurdy, crank. And press.
All right, now we've got our own around here. There was a time around the early COVID time. There was a guy that would every once in a while come and clear the beach over at Jimmy D's because he'd play his bagpipes.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that guy? You remember that guy?
I got emotional.
He never cleared the beaches. It was kind of interesting, because you got the DJ over at Jimmy D's playing rap music. Wow, 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 wow. and here comes this guy playing his bagpipes. I used to have a friend. I mean, we're still friends. I haven't seen him in years. But his claim to fame was that he could play an accordion. And he had one of these big, comes in a huge suitcase kind of accordions. I mean, the big ones weigh 100 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
And you play it across your chest. And he was actually pretty good at running the squeeze box. And then, as I said, we've got our own kind of uncommon instrument here on Guam, the belambautudzen.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has origins also similar to some Brazilian stuff, but we
found a way to make it our own.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
And made it work.
It's the way it is. 8:37 in the Ray Gibson Show. Coming up, we'll take our last big look at news and headlines with Joanna Matanati. Matanati, you stay right there.
Half a day. Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns a property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has a management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Howdy, folks. It's KFC's Colonel Sanders, and I'm bringing you a delicious KFC chicken flavor just in time for summer. Introducing my new KFC Grilled Teriyaki Chicken. It's our great KFC grilled chicken made with an authentic sweet and tangy Japanese teriyaki sauce that the whole family will fall in love with. Pick up a bucket at your favorite KFC location and bring home the teriyaki love today. KFC's new Grilled Teriyaki Chicken is available for a limited time at your favorite KFC location. KFC, it's finger licking good.
As a defense attorney, I've represented many people who, if they weren't poor or they had received a higher education, may have taken a different path. As senator, I will propose a scholarship for those whose struggles are less academic and more financial. Let's keep our university full, not our prison. I'm Thomas Fisher. I not only approve this message, I wrote it.
Paid for by Tom for Guam, Drake Diaz, Treasurer.
My God, this Friday morning is almost over. 8:39 in the morning. A little bit of time left in this hour. Small talk portion of the next hour, and I got plenty of small talk to talk about. And some of it even disguised as actual news and news stories. They did the autopsy already a couple of times on what happened with the GMA debate last night between the two Democratic gubernatorial teams. And it seems to me that some of the conversation that occurred after the debate was all done from among the folks at the commentary panel on Candid was just as much viewed as the actual debate was. We did not lose a whole lot of viewers at the end of the debate. Everybody wanted to stick around and hear what the commentators had to say. Thank you. Appreciate it. At 8:39 now, and time for our last big look at news and headlines. Joanne's going to take care of it. What do you think? What happened today?
The AG's office wants the court to issue a temporary restraining order against Pacific Tiny Homes and its owner, Paul Sablon, for continuing to advertise container homes without a business license or a contractor's license. A civil complaint was filed against the company and Sablon earlier this month, stating he and his company were engaging in unlicensed and deceptive business practices. The CPD received numerous calls from consumers since the initial complaint, including one from a customer who paid nearly $30,000 for a container home and amenities which still have not been provided. Yesterday morning, GFD spokesman Nick Garrido confirmed the 43-year-old man recovered from Retidian Beach on Wednesday drowned. GPD spokesman Officer Berlin Civilis said they have not initiated a complaint or report connected to the incident. The drowning is the third this month and the fourth for 2022. And lastly, a reminder that early voting continues today at the Westin Resort Guam Voting Center. The site will be open from 10 in the morning to 6 at night, Tuesday through Friday. Homebound voters may schedule a GEC representative to stop by with a ballot by calling 477-9791. Early voting ends August 19, and there are 28 days left until the primary election. That was your last look at local headlines on The Point.
I got this from Big Sister Shelley yesterday. Weston has apparently got a deal for people that are taking advantage of the voting. Today is the official start date of the early voting for the Guam Election Commission. Again, this is yesterday. We will be offering special promotions at The Mix for those who present their I Voted stickers. Voters that present their I Voted stickers receive a 10% discount off pastries and complimentary upsize on beverages. You must present your sticker to receive a discount, must be a voting age, and it's only valid on voting day. So you swing by after I'm... But
She's going to call in a few minutes.
Who's that?
Maria Pangilinan.
Oh, okay. All right. So so I think that's great. So you get an opportunity to, save some money on something while you're, conducting your voting business and responsibility.
They should have announced that yesterday. They would have gotten more than 144.
And that's the announcements for today, is you take your I Voted sticker to The Mix and they will work out a deal for you. Now I think that there ought to be, we ought to turn this into a full-blown, get GVB on the line for me. I'm having one of those brilliant beyond brilliant CEO level ideas. All right. So you take, this ought to be a blessing for all of the businesses in Tumon, not just The Mix over at Weston. Great. They're hosting, they're doing all that stuff. And you can, take the sticker and get a discount there. But there should also be other deals. You should also be able to, take that sticker, Pizza Kaya. Right, you go down to the Pizza Kaya. What's upstairs there? What is that?
Foreplay.
Foreplay. You ought to be able to take your I Voted sticker upstairs to Foreplay, or across the street to Club USA. I'm just saying, everybody should benefit from the mass of people that are going into the Tumon area to log their early votes.
Everybody.
I'm just out there. I don't know how these brilliant ideas pop into my head. They just do, and it would not surprise me if all of a sudden something like this come up from all of the other hotels, including maybe the guys over at the Lotte Hotel, where Lotte Hotel is. You can park in their parking lot. You go over to the Westin and vote, and then the golf cart will bring you back. So you should be able to take your I Voted thing into any number of the restaurants that they've got over at the Lotte.
Massage.
Yes, there should be. They're not all that kind of massage, real Joe.
No Nuru.
Yes, no Nuru massages.
Nuru, just a new way of getting in trouble, isn't it? It's 8:43. The Ray Gibson Show will continue after these.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Project Inspire and the Guam Dance Community presents
Made to Move,
a community dance event. Sunday, July 31st at the Agania Shopping Center. Pull up in your dancing shoes because we're dedicating this entire day to dance. This full-day event will have fun community dance workshops, a grand premiere of the film, and an all-out after-party. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Guam Cancer Care. Tickets are now available at www.projectinspire.co. And follow us on the gram at Project Inspire for updates on the event.
Made to Move.
Well, hey, what's that up on the screen? There's a meme for the meme machine. Thank you very much. Plain Boy says 60 may be the new 40, but the $100 bill is the new 20. Oh, my God, it feels like that, doesn't it? Ray Gibson Show, portions of which brought to you by the guys over at Chili's, where that $100 bill is going to go an awful long way. A $15 meal deal over at Chili's. You get one of these things, and you won't have to eat for 2 days. Mix and match your 3-course meals. You got soup, salad, chips, and salsa. That's the starters. That's the apps. And then here's their choices. Ranchero chicken tacos, honey chipotle crispers, bacon ranch quesadillas, or personal fajitas. Those are the main courses at Chili's. Great, more life, more great value, more variety happens there. Well, there are some interesting stories that are floating in on the meme machine here this morning, one way or the other, and talking about all kinds of different shortages that you can see. Now, there was a supply chain issue, literally, that affected the ability of the guys and girls over at Payless to be able to keep the shelves stocked. And now, even as the containers have come in off the mats and ship, one of the things that they're finding is that there is spoilage in the food because it's the warehouse at sea, and any delays means that there could be some spoilage, and that was the case. But reading from an article about other shortages that we may see, and this is not a very old article, so some of this might actually still be a big issue here. Non-perishable foods. There are a number of variables at play in the grocery store shortages that we are seeing. Omicron infections impacting higher demand from consumers, and the base goods to get in there are all having an impact. There was one in particular that I thought was kind of interesting because, well, I mean, you know me, and I like to get a drink or two from time to time, and they're telling us now that we might be able to see shortages in things like liquor. But it has nothing to do. It doesn't have anything to do with the manufacturing of certain liquors. The reason why there might be a shortage is there's low supplies of glass for bottling them. And again, I'm thinking, it's all right. I go ahead now. I know it's Johnny Blue, and Johnny Blue traditionally comes in nice glasses. But if it came down to it, either we're going to have it in the nice glasses, or we're not going to have it at all. I'd go ahead and put it in a can. It'll be all right. They say that noodles, there could be a pasta shortage in 2022, a staple for many households. With the threat of inclement weather in some areas, some shoppers may be stocking up on these items in an effort to have easy meals on hand should they be snowed in and have no power. So there's a lot of demand for that. But the good news is that once you've got a thing of pasta at the house, it will last virtually forever. And so that'll keep for a long, long time. 848. What's that? Ichibang.
Take my Ichibang.
Ichibang will last forever in the house. There's no problems with that ever. 8:48 in the morning. Even the stuff in the packet, that stuff's probably older than you. I mean, you don't know, but it's all the same. 888-8255-888-TALK. Bunch of other stories that we're looking at. I'm kind of looking at them just because it's borderline interesting. Are we pronouncing it a recession yet? I don't know. They keep dancing around it over at the White House and trying to, this is the same party that can't figure out what a woman is, and now they're going to come up with a new definition and a new distinction on what constitutes something like a recession. We'll watch. We'll see. As the man said, just skip right over it and go to depression. There's this story here. We talked about it for a little bit yesterday, and every once in a while, we got to take a look at what's going on nationally and international. Geopolitics is going to be a big deal, I think, towards the end of the year. And in fact, maybe starting even now. With all kinds of things happening in different places. Russia invaded Ukraine a few months ago, and we're still dealing with that. And then we've got this story here that continues to annoy me. It won't go away. I want it to go. This is how I want it to go away. Silent behind-the-scenes negotiations to get this Griner woman out from under custody by the Russian authorities.
Oh, we need to trade her. We need to trade something for something.
All right, so they have now officially made the offer. This may be among the dumbest things that they are doing in the United States of America.
Is it a 2-for-1, Ray?
No, I think it might be a 2-for-1, but still. The U.S. has offered Russia a substantial proposal to bring home WNBA star Brittany Griner and corporate security executive Paul Whelan. Blinken said, as the Secretary of State said, he plans to speak with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in the coming days. His remarks are the first publicly announced concrete Biden administration plans to secure the release of Griner and Whelan. Griner faces 10 years in a Russian prison for bringing hashish oil into the country. And I thought I was paying attention to this. I thought it was like a vape with THC or something like in it.
Yeah, that's what they call it, though.
Was it vape juice?
Yeah, no, it's hash oil.
It's hash oil
in a vape.
In vape form.
Yeah,
that's the way that they're able to smoke. All right, hash oil.
Yeah.
Okay, because hashish oil sounds worse than vape oil.
It sounds like heroin, Ray.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, so she faces 10 years. She testified that her rights weren't read to her when she was arrested in Moscow and that she was instructed to sign documents without knowing what they meant. Testified that her rights weren't read to her. Is there a Miranda in Russia? in a communist country? Is there a Miranda? I think she might be under the impression that the Constitution of the United States, which she clearly doesn't have a whole lot of love for, follows her around. And so, as I said, you got this weird kind of privilege thing going on, and that she was instructed to sign documents without knowing what they meant.
Wow.
Happens all the time. Whalen was sentenced to 16 years in prison in 2020 for spying charges that he says have been falsified. One name being floated as a potential part of the prisoner exchange is Victor Bout, a Russian arms dealer. His nickname, the Merchant of Death. The Merchant of Death.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm going to come up with a 1990-sounding grunge band, and that's going to be the name of the band. It's going to be the Merchant of Death, and we'll work on some really cool album covers and album art and things like that. Wouldn't that? I mean, what a great tattoo that would make. Tattoo Shauna, Merchant of Death tattoo design. If you please.
M.O.D.
S'il vous plaît. Could we get something like that going? I'm having it on around a couple of stories because I keep moving my paper around and I forget where I actually put it. But I mentioned earlier this hour and yesterday about being concerned because my number was selected now by I'm going to refer to them as, I'm sure, a prestigious research group, online phone call research group, I believe out of Hawaii. And the phone rang, which was startling to begin with because it never, ever rings unless it's a wrong number or a survey. And in this case, it was the survey. And the guy on the other side was beginning to ask the survey, do you have time? I did not lie. Normally, I lie and say, oh, man, I can't right now. I'm driving. I got to be careful on the roads, blah, 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 blah. But in this case, I was truthful and said, yes, I have time to take the survey. And he begins the qualification questions, whatever. And then it came to the age. And he says, are you between the ages of 18 and 59? I said, well, I just had my 60th birthday in May. And the guy says, well, I'm sorry, that concludes this survey. And I thought, well, what the hell are we trying to research? Where a response from an otherwise reasonably healthy, mostly Chamorro, heterosexual male over the age of 60 would not be relevant.
Sorry, unks.
Right? Hey, Pop.
Sorry, unks.
Pop, I think it's time for your nap. So we'll go get information from other people that we now, is it a marketing survey? Were they trying to market something to me? And I'll never know. I haven't talked to anybody that likewise was able to take that survey. But here's the up and down on this. And this is something that I have been saying for a long time, even before I was anywhere near turning 60 years old, is we represent an incredible market. An incredible market. The end of the baby boomers, that's us. Brady boomers is what my gang is called, and we are all 60 plus now, and generations of baby boomers that came before us. And we're not dying as fast as some of the young people would like to see. The 60-plus economy is worth over $22 trillion worldwide. And there is advice coming in from the McKinsey & Company folks that say every business, every entrepreneur should be thinking about how they can support healthy aging and people living longer lives. People are living decades longer, yet we don't have the products and services to support healthy aging across longer lifespans. That's the idea behind the longevity economy. Google that, which includes all of the economic activity that will sustain older lives. In the U.S., that market itself in the U.S. is worth $8.6 trillion. By adapting their offerings to be multi-generational, companies can expand their customer base and help people live healthier, more purposeful lives.
Can I recommend a reverse mortgage for you, Ray?
What we'd like to get out of all of this, though, is I would like it so that we all aren't ending up wearing Docker pants. Can we? Because I think there is an image that people have in the marketing community that all of the numbers and letters need to be big, and they all have to come in the same Tonka truck colors that we grew up with, and nothing could be further from the truth. I want to dress like Keith Richards. As the older I get, the more I want to dress like I don't know, the cross between Paula Abdul and Keith Richards. You know what I mean?
G-string.
I'm not ruling anything out, bro. Not ruling anything out. I just don't want to get stuck in that gray category, you know. 8:56 in the morning, and my cousin Troy is on the phone. Cousin Troy, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you guys?
You know what? I'm okay. I turned down an opportunity to go goof off with some people at Freddie Berdaglio's fundraiser at Tower of London last night, and left you and went home where I knew I would find a cold beer.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you did. I'm sorry I wasn't able to bring you any.
That's all right. That's okay. Eric covered me with the water, so I was fine. I was taken care of. I was lubricated. But the interesting debate last night, and obviously we picked all of that apart in our autopsy in the last few minutes, the waning minutes of the evening last night. So I don't know how much we need to go over, but I will say that one of the things that kept me awake last night when I got home, when I was finally able to open up my beer and sit back on the couch and turn on Cobra Kai, was the number of messages that I got questioning the appropriateness of the comments that were being made by Ginger Cruz. Did you get a lot of that too?
Yeah, and some people were saying, there was an equal time issue, but I mean, my response to that is, I don't know. I'm plenty biased for Mike and Nicholas, so I thought it kind of balanced out, except that,
well, she talked longer than you on your own show.
I love the banter between you and Ginger, and I really wouldn't mind doing that again, honestly. I don't agree with her on most of what she said, but I think that kind of conversation on the issues needs to continue. And this, this troll farm stuff.
Oh, God.
The baseball commentary, that's the kind of stuff that needs to go away. But the kind of conversation that happened between you and Ginger is what Guam needs, really.
Well, I'd be happy to do it, but there got to be ground rules. Some of the commentary was, "Why didn't you jump into it sooner?" I said, "Because it ain't my show. This was Troy's show. This was a candid presentation. I was there as a guest commentator, and it wasn't my place to try to shut down any of the other commentators." Until it became obvious that either pay for it or keep your remarks shorter.
Yeah, we'll probably invoice.
Why not? But otherwise, I thought that technology was well done, and an incredible number of people. Even Vince Akimoto had sent me a thing this morning commenting on the incredible number of people that were tuned in to just the Candid stream.
Yeah, I think when I saw it this morning, there's something like 5,500 people had already watched, with 4,500 comments. Yeah.
Now, for those of you that wonder about this kind of business, obviously there were a lot of people watching it live, but also incredible is the number of people that will watch it as a video on demand on Candid.
And that included Jane Forrest, who on Facebook on Dr. Shea's page got mad at him, for why weren't the campaigns code of anything earlier? You had a panel up there that were, it was just Ginger Cruz against the 3 MSN stooges. And I guess she has no idea, or she doesn't know how this stuff works. That wasn't GMA's feed. That was our feed. We did whatever the hell we thought.
That's right. Welcome to the land of the First Amendment. And frankly, apparently the campaigns did know about it, because we had Ginger sitting next to us, and I got Francis Santos directly in front of me. So obviously they were pretty interested in some of the remarks that were flying between all of the stooges on the podium.
Yeah. Oh man, did you see? Everyone on the Lou and Josh team? Did you see them deflate the moment that Mike Smith said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to have to do it." And then he went for the jugular, and it was like all the air came out of the Lou and Josh campaign.
Right.
And I thought, first we turned to each other and we were like, "This is it. This is it. This is the moment." Well, I don't know why he waited the entire night for this moment, but that was fun, and it was nice. The audience on Facebook wasn't able to see it, but when you looked out into the room and you saw how people reacted to that, it was pretty telling. And then you could see the governor's reaction. She was pretty darn angry, and I think she had to step aside so that maybe she could calm down, and the lieutenant governor stepped in, and then it became a debate between Mike Nicholas and Josh Tenorio, which was another interesting.
Which I thought was among the best parts of the evening, and the looks, the look. I want to say the look that Mike gave Josh, but there was certainly a moment where Josh shot a real kind of catty looking eye towards Mike, and I thought, man, I want to watch this. I want to see this develop a little bit more. And you know, say what you want to about any of the people on the stage. Certainly, the ones that were most eloquent were Josh and Mike St. Nicholas. So I mean, if it came to bullets, and like Lou was off island or something, I think it would make just as good as a debate or a discussion between Josh and Mike.
Oh yeah, and I have a feeling that's the debate where
we'll see more like that soon. Right. Listen, just after 9 o'clock in the morning, cuz for people that missed it, how do they watch the GMA debate on your page?
Just go to our page. It's the second to the top post. And I think we have it on YouTube. If we don't have it on YouTube, we'll have it soon. We'll be also giving a copy over to Dr. Shane.
Oh, right on. Okay. Cuz it's always fun talking with you. Anybody, I mean, today's kind of a day off for you guys, right? You're not going to be doing anything major today?
Yeah, we're off today.
Right on. Okay, well, have a good day off, and we'll get caught up over the weekend. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Cousin Ray.
All right.
Good morning.
I will. You know what? We're already late for Fox News here at the top of the hour. Potted Up, are they in a break now?
5 inches of rain by tomorrow.
Yeah, they're in the break. Otherwise, I'd say let's go and see what else is going on. But we got Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission on the line, and she is way more important than anything that they're going to be sending our way from Fox News. Congratulations on the first day of the primary election.
Half a day, Ray Gibson.
Oh, my God. So 140 some odd people were able to test the waters for you yesterday?
I think 184. I don't have the paper in front of me, but I think it was 184.
All right. Well, you know, that sounds like it's busy enough. I mean, it ain't thousands of people showing up like if it was Election Day, but I think and certainly not as low as regular in-office voting would be, but enough to get things going and test out all of your systems and see what works and see what doesn't work.
Yeah, it actually surpassed the first day of early voting for the general election in 2020.
Uh-huh. All right. So so marking the trend, I guess that people like the idea that they don't have to wait until Election Day to vote.
That's what we're seeing, and we're doing it because we want to increase voter participation.
Amen to that. I have no problem with that whatsoever, whatever the additional costs are, and whatever gets more people than normal to go and vote, by all means, get it done. If you're working for somebody, a government of Guam or in the private sector, you are, just like you would be on Election Day, entitled to a couple hours of get out of here time, swing by the Westin, and go and get that vote taken care of. And I don't know if you were made aware of this. Apparently, if you take that little sticker, the I voted sticker, you get a discount over at what is it, the Mix, the little grab and go thing they've got there?
Yeah, downstairs at the lobby, yes. I was made aware of it by the fantastic Western Resort team.
I think you should talk to other people in Tumon and find a way to get that I voted sticker good for a discount everywhere. Jimmy's.
We'll see our partner to GBB and see if they can do it.
Five cents a car, and see if he wants to do something and just let I think it would be beneficial for all of the businesses to know that there is an attraction in the Tumon area over at the western side. So if you're going to have all these people running around doing some voting, why not offer them a discount? Buy one, get one. Some added value for coming into the store. Maybe buy something or eat something or get something cold to drink. You know what I mean?
Yep. And we have an additional partner here in the Tumon. Loti has given us permission to use their parking as overflow.
Good.
So yesterday we didn't have problems with parking within the Westin, although we had a couple people parked at the at Loti, so we went to pick them up.
Now, do they need to call somebody, or is there just a roving shuttle?
Well, as it gets busier, the GEC plan was to have a roving shuttle, just like we have the roving golf carts. We have roving golf carts for the Westin parking structure. We have dedicated parking for our early voters 30-minute parking. We have enough stalls, I think, to accommodate over 30 voters. And so our golf cart from the parking structure will bring you up directly to the mezzanine level and then back to the parking.
Okay. All right. It all sounds very, very straightforward. If you're not registered, you can register there and then vote. Last day to register is going to be what, August 19?
17th, August 17th.
17. Okay. I've got that in my head. 6 after 9. I'm not going to take too much of your time. I know you guys got to get started on today's voting. And then that's it for the week. Saturday's the day off. Sunday's the day off. Monday, there will not be any early voting over at the Westin. So the next chance to do this is going to be Tuesday.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. And if there's anything else that you need, by all means, Maria Pangolina, you reach out to me, Courtney, and I'll take care of you.
Si Zeus Masi, Ray Gibson.
Oh, look, well, you have a great day and a great weekend. Pray for me Sunday, all right?
All right, we'll do.
There it is.
Every day, sir.
Every day, right on 6 after 9. No, it's like that. I'm not going to say she's a grandmother figure, but I swear to God, I believe it's true. I've made even get a T-shirt made. The only reason I'm alive is because of my grandmother's prayers. All the novenas that she said for me and the rest of the family that have managed to give me the 9 lives that I needed to make it to where I am today. 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Real Joe says, you need to take a break. All right, Groovy, I'll be right back.
The people of Guam are outraged with the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Boss 104, The Point, and Star 101 are bringing you the Back to the 80s and 90s Throwdown at the Hermit Crab Beach Bar and Grill in Antigua, Saturday, August 6th.
Come down and get on the dance floor as I, DJ Daryl Nazama, get on the turntables, giving you the best of the 80s, 90s, and more.
Star 101, The Point, and Boss 104 will be in the house.
Yo, DJ, pump it up some more. Plus, we have all kinds of cool stuff to give to you.
Free food giveaway,
buckets of beer,
T-shirts, and hourly cash prizes.
For the 90s Throwdown dance off.
Back to the 80s and 90s Throwdown at the Hermit Crab Beach Bar and Grill in Antigua behind Circle K Beachside. The party is from 8 p.m. to midnight, so come down and get your groove on. Special thanks to JV International Safety Equipment Company and Lolita Kamet from Hoffaday Realty.
Get ready to save up and chow down with Pacific Points. Now you can redeem Pacific Points for Uno Go wallet credits and enjoy huge savings on food delivery. Order from over 80 restaurants and have it delivered straight to your door. Continue earning points when you fuel up at Shell, shop at Foodies, purchase ITNE prepaid load, and pay your monthly ITNE bill. Then, get ready to claim your rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Hey.
Hey, what? Okay. Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines. Global presence with a local home.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Nah. You know what's the thing about the internet? The internet is forever. Did you know that, Real Joe? The internet is forever. You might be thinking, oh, look at me, I'm sly.
It's like diamonds.
That's sly. I get to post something on the internet, and then a half hour later you change your mind and you delete it. But, you know, depending on who you are, there's a very good chance that somebody's already got a screenshot. Cousin Troy in the last hour was talking about, I guess Jane Flores had some issues with Tom Shea and wrote, someone needs to review the questions. What on earth with the panel? We got Ginger in at the last minute. Were you really just going to have the 3 MSN stooges as commentators? Come on, Tom. At least try to be a bit objective here.
Wow.
Stooges?
Jane?
And Tom writes back, Jane, Please be civil on my page. Please no facts before commenting. All media were invited since June 30th. All outlets are allowed to choose their own commentators. We didn't tell KUAM or PNC. Did they ever straighten out the camera angle on the PNC thing?
I don't know.
All right. We don't know, or Candid or PDN, who to be there. That's their choices. We don't restrict that. As for the Stooges you are referencing to, I don't know who you are talking about. Like I said, I was under the weather with COVID, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for your comment. Please be civil. And she writes back and she says, that was me being civil, civilly critical. And I know at least one legitimate news outlet that confirmed they were not invited to the commentators panel. So my facts are straight. Okay.
Wow.
Here, get this fact straight, Jane. Candid was there to cover the speech, as were all of the other members of the media. Some of them, all they did was they stuck a camera in front of the stage, and that was it. Candid, on the other hand, multiple cameras, multiple microphones, multiple headphone outlets, so that there could be some play-by-play commentary, and we had it. And originally, the idea was it was going to be just Cousin Troy and I, and then Dr. McNinch came in, and I don't know anybody that would challenge his credibility to be there, and I think his I don't know that he's professed one way or the other whether or not he's got a preference for or a bias towards Lou and Josh or who's it, Mike and Bree. I'm sorry, I had that moment there for a second. I don't know that he's ever professed a bias or support one way or the other for anybody. So I don't know. I mean, you want to call me a stooge? Fine, I'll be a stooge. Wonderful. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I grow bigger depending on who wants to be my enemy or who wants to be critical of me. And if that's the nature of the people being critical of me, so be it. All right, I'll be a stooge. I'll get a T-shirt made says Mike Nicholas Stooge. I'll do that. Although that it might not necessarily be the case. Some of you might recall that I hail from the Republican branch of the Underwood family. And my baby sister is running as a senator under the Republican Party. So it could be inferred that my bias otherwise might be for former Governor Felix P. Camacho and Tony Ada, whose family has been there for me and buried everybody I know for decades. So I'm just saying. But that's fine. I don't think I've ever been referred to as a stooge before. But if you are going to refer to me as a stooge, use my name. Spell it right. RAYGIBSON. And make sure. And that would be awesome. I didn't realize you and Ron were MSN stooges. I got that from Chris Biacchino. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your support. That's okay. I'll be by a little bit later on. I may have that added to my business cards. You know, managing partner / MSN stooge, or just stooge. Period. I don't know. I love the criticism. 9:13 in the morning.
List, Ray. Bucket list.
You know, the truth of the matter is here, guys. I don't care. I don't care. This is, we were talking about aging, getting older, right? And being, a major demographic that should still be marketed to, because worldwide our value to businesses will be in excess of $22 trillion. I intend to be around a long time to be marketed to by these companies that are going to find a way to be more attractive to me. So that's groovy. But the other thing about getting to be of a certain age is after a while, and I think this is universal among folks in my age group and my demographic, we just don't give a blank. Just no blanks given here. So if I say something that offends you, that congressman said, then I guess you're going to be offended. I'm not even going to apologize for it. I think you're just going to have to be offended. I've made a pretty good living here in a talk radio business, and a decent venue for advertisers to put their spots and people listen to for hours and hours on end, by being critical of administrations. And it's not just this administration with Lou and Josh. You ask Eddie Calvo, how long our honeymoon was when he was the governor of Guam, and Felix Camacho among them. There was a time, I'm serious now, he didn't talk to me. A couple of years, I couldn't get him on the phone, couldn't do an interview. If I saw him at something, it was that we were civil, but it wasn't like it was before, and it wasn't as good as we've got it now. But somebody's got to be the loyal opposition, and somebody's got to be able to go into media and say when the emperor has no clothes. And that's the gig that I got, guys. 9:15 in the morning, 888-8255. We'll get into something happier now. Also, one of the other people that we talked to earlier was Kathy Calvo from over at Payless. Hey, it's a Payless thing. Now, I'm going to show you on the camera here. This is what it looked like yesterday. And again, I'm sure that this would have been a better picture if there had been more stuff on the shelf. But this is this morning's picture in the Pacific Daily News. Oh, and by the way, guys, congratulations returning to color. Ooh,
well done.
They got their color cartridges for their printer. Yay! But here's the picture of Mr. Twilliger, who is running around over at the Payless, looking at the empty shelves. And this is what the shelves at that very same Payless look like right now. Ooh, take a look at that. Look at all that produce there. Look at that. We got lettuces and cabbages, and that looks like carrots is over there, and all kinds of kale things that I'm never, ever going to buy. Do I have another long-term view? Yeah, you can make it all the way down to the elbow of the aisle of one of the colder parts of that Payless place. And as you can see, the shelves have been completely restocked. There it is. There's another one of my favorite. I like this one here because it's got a ton of local produce there. And so we got local long beans, right? Local string beans that are in there. And it looks like eggplant, and maybe there's some local cucumbers in the mix, and maybe down the end. And I will admit to thinking it was kind of gross when I was growing up, but the older I get, the more I love and appreciate sigadidzas, wing beans. Wing beans. Did I tell you I made myself some tenactac? Yeah, I made some tenactac over the weekend with wing beans. So good. Oh, my God. Really, really good coconut milk on the inside. The only thing I didn't have was the little cherry tomatoes.
Great texture on those.
Oh, man. I mixed it up with some really, really good ground beef. Oh, my God, Becky. So we got a bunch of other kiosks that they've got there. Looks like they've got a healthy shipment of bananas. Still some green ones, so you can get them to ripen up at your place. There's the fruit aisle and a little bit more of the local produce section, yams and sweet potatoes and things like that. They're back, guys. Payless is back. So if you've been holding off, crap. Just thought, you know what? I should have put this on Monday, so I could have gone shopping today after the show, and nobody's going to go there because they think Twilliger bought all the last of the food.
Yeah,
and they're going to go, well, maybe I'll just wait. But yeah, it looks like they're completely restocked over in that section, and that is some terrific news. 9:18 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. You got the phone number. Don't be shy about using it. It's been a little bit since I've had a chance to take a look at what folks are talking about, if they're talking about anything at all. At Facebook Live. Let me see where I left off. Gina Marie Tenorio call. Ginger was terrible. Jimenez Hessa was online. What do we got here? John says GMH still has labor and delivery renovation plans plastered in the lobby of GMH. The poster has mold growing over the edge. Margaret Estacchio, Bistra Mendiola, Biba online. Nadine Odessa, Ugan Valino is watching the program. Good to have you there. Darren Torres is online. Frank Menno, Biba, Eileen Thomas. Hi, Eileen. Nice to see you there. Tina, can you right-click on that, Real Joe?
Right away.
I mean, unless you're doing something else.
No.
All right, so Eileen Thomas is the name that we're looking for here. Tina Sato, good morning to you. Good to have you online with us. Dave Brantley and Mevani Hesita. Right-click, Real Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you might not understand what that means. When we say right-click, that's generally me asking Real Joe to stalk somebody's page. I got Rose Benevente, Libby Pierre, Dan Russell, Buenos Anafade to Dave Duenas and Harvey Egna, Louis Hortillosa, and Brennan Fausto, Frank Matanani, Buenos Anafade to Catherine Tyron, Napoleon Carino, Johnny Cruz, M.T. Farron, Joey Toves is online.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Joey. And we know it's your birthday because we love and care for you so much. We wrote it down on our own personal calendars. We didn't find out it was your birthday from Facebook. Honest. To God. I swear on Joey's children. I swear on Joey's children. We remembered from last year. Charlie Hermosa is there. William Civillo. Good to see Dave Dinsman. that $500 on our power bill, do we have to apply for that, or does everyone just automatically get it? My understanding, bro, is that it's going to go, it will appear on a credit on all of the ratepayers, for all of the ratepayers, even the solar guys, even the businesses are going to get it. They're just going to apply a $500 credit. The only tricky part now is for people that have a master meter, apartments, condos or something like that, where there's a master meter in the building. And God, why would anybody want that? Because if I had a master meter, I'd have everything running full tilt 24 hours a day and just assume that the other guys are going to pay my share of all of that. I guess that's why I've never lived anywhere like that. Jess Limtiaco and Joe Ngoko regarding Officer Kenga's indictment. There are too many unanswered questions. AG prosecution is at a crisis level in regards to prosecutors required to properly tackle the workload. My hunch is many of these cases may end up being plea bargained or dismissed. You know, a good point that you're making, Joe, and I printed out the indictment when I got it yesterday so I could read it to you, and I was kind of expecting maybe that there would be additional details. And I don't like to read the whole thing to you, but in this case, why not? It's not even a full page. The Superior Court of Guam grand jury hereby charges Justin A.L. Kenga, who did commit the offense of manslaughter as a first-degree felony in that he recklessly caused the death of another human being, that is, Iope Rudolph, in violation of 9 GCA, et cetera, et cetera. On or about the 9th day of March in Guam, Justin A.L. Kenga did commit the offense of negligent homicide as a third-degree felony in that he did cause the death of another human being. Iope Rudolph, and then there's room here for Sean Brown to sign off, and there's certification of a true bill from the foreman of the grand jury. There's no once upon a time in this. It's not like other reports that I see, like magistrate reports, where somebody from the Attorney General's office would say, I do hereby swear that on this date, this happened, and the police were called, and they're throwing rocks. And the synopsis of the case, there is none of that in here. And I'm assuming that the jury pool got more information if they were able to actually hand down the indictment. I'll make the point here that the copy that I have isn't signed by anybody. I don't know what that means, but it is just kind of interesting that it is out floating around in the world without the companion story to say exactly what happened in that terrible night over at the Shell gas station. At any rate, that is interesting. I appreciate you bringing that up, Joe. We've got Bertha Maza Cruz hanging out with us this morning. Joey Jan Guevara, good morning to you. Johnny Rosario from Candid Bay.
Oh, morning, Johnny.
Oh, come I only got the guys from Candid yesterday. Am I allowed to say that? I mean, that's not a sexist or misogynist thing to say. Where were the beauty queens of Candid last night? I did not see you in the audience, and I would have preferred to sit next to you at the table. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy sitting next to Ginger, but I would have enjoyed your company there as well. Dave Rowley is there. Yvonne Tykenko, good to see Winnie Flores checking in this morning. Donna Mila Martinez says Jane Flores calls the men on the panel stooges. That's because she's pro-killing babies in the womb and was paid thousands of dollars for 4 years to ensure that safe abortions were available to Guam, even though the 12 telemedicine abortions ended up at GMH emergency under her watch as the director of the Bureau of Women's Affairs. Didn't seem to be any love lost there. And something that was interesting in the conversation last night, the subject of abortion did come up. Although they don't like to call it abortion. Abortion is a dirty word. We don't like to use the word abortion. We talk about women's health and reproductive rights and privacy rights. But nobody actually drills into really what's going on here when we are talking about that. And that is pretty uncomfortable time, I suppose, for the baby, regardless of where it is in the growth phase in the womb. And so they kind of dance around the gruesome and macabre nature of an abortion, even the chemical ones, even the ones where you're taking a pill that does this, that, and the other that causes the termination of the pregnancy. Have you read how that works? It is kind of gruesome what goes on in a woman's body, and it certainly doesn't sound very healthy. But hey, the way that they approached it last night was they ignoring the fact that there is already a bill. There's already a law on the books that goes back to Bel Areola years. And all that was needed to be done was for Leven Camacho to go over to district court and get it out from under cobwebs and say, okay, there's no longer a permanent injunction on this bill because the overturning of Roe versus Wade. What he came out and said was, well, it was illegal to begin with from its genesis because of Roe v. Wade. So it was already unconstitutional. Therefore, there is no law. And now it's got to go back to the legislature. And what do we got here? 28 days between now and the general election? The primary election. Do you suppose there's anybody over at the legislature that wants to take up a bill, that wants to author any kind of legislation other than the Heartbeat Act that's already in there? Do you suppose there's anybody there? 10-foot pole. Absolutely right. There's, I'm sure, members of the legislature that have got their 10-foot pole out there just waiting for the opportunity to come up and see if they can push it with their 10-foot pole over to somebody else. How do we make this somebody else's problem?
Hot potato.
Please do not let me have to. I don't want my political career to live and die based on abortion. I don't know that they'll be able to avoid it forever. But by way of pushing the conversation along, even among the gubernatorial candidates, maybe you caught this, was they said, this is something that we have to ask the people of Guam. This is an issue that is so important, it can only be resolved with a referendum, which is kind of annoying to me because these guys run in the idea that they are our representatives in government, that they've got a pretty good bead, pretty good handle on the sentiment of the governed, if you will. And so why is this not something that they can handle on their own? There are 15 people over at the legislature. One or two of them might be capable enough to be able to put together a measure that would meet everybody's expectations. God, that's going to be impossible. Or at least try, or to achieve the goals of the majority of the population, however that may come out. But they won't do it. And even Bell's Law made reference to a referendum back in the day, the time for which has long ago passed. But they're going to say, this is one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, like medicinal marijuana, like gambling, and abortion. Now, we're going to take this in front of all of the voters, and both sides will have an opportunity to campaign hard for their side of the issue, whether you are pro-life or whether you are pro-abortion. I was careful in my selection of words because I'm a stooge. 928. 888-8255. I thought that was kind of interesting. Rosemary Laguardia, Brad Wood, Rose Pacini, Marvin Tuncap, Buenos and Apodata, Marvin Crisostomo. Oh, my God. What says dropping empanadas at your door?
Oh, wow.
Joe.
How long ago was that?
I don't know. They don't timestamp that. Quick, Tadek boy, that's it. Go and check the front door and see if we've got something hanging on the glass for us. Bonnie Suba is there. Bob Klitsky says Richard did a good job explaining the MSN and House of Representatives drama. The Guam PAC against MSM really campaigned their legal understanding of what transpired. Just emotional rhetoric. Of course there's emotional rhetoric. Rick Leon, Buenos and Alfadeta, Harvey Egna. Got my GPA bill today without credit. So next month I should have a $200 credit. Yeah, I guess that's the way it sounds. Then that'll work too. Huh? Okay.
Muller.
Marvin.
There's nobody out there, man.
Ursel Darius Cook Jr. hanging out, and Big Sister Shelley, Sarita Garin. Prevention is always better than cure. And Hoffa Brian Paris. That is an interesting point, Sarita, on the subject of prevention.
I take Plan B, Ray.
Do you?
Yeah, right after.
Yeah. There, but for the grace of God, go I. I don't know. 9:30 in the morning. Everybody's got a strong feeling one way or the other about it, and unfortunately, we are going to have to get to a place in the loggerheads. And as I am predicting here, the legislature isn't going to lift a finger to do anything about it. It's certainly not within 28 days between now and the actual primary election. We have got the first day of the primary election underway yesterday. Second day is going on right now over at the Westin. I got 9:30 in the morning. Can I just quick break? And the reason why is because I want to get another look at the table of contents. I get so caught up in what they call the stream of consciousness. Every once in a while, I got to step outside and make sure that I'm in the right river. So stick around. Be right back.
Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh brings you the sequel to the Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki. Enjoy the new Sweet Onion Steak Teriyaki. Delight your taste buds with tender, juicy steak marinated in the tangy new Sweet Onion Teriyaki sauce and stacked high on toasted artisan Italian bread, topped with American cheese, green peppers, red onions, and drizzled with the tangy new Sweet Onion Teriyaki sauce. The new Sweet Onion Steak Teriyaki is the height of food craveability. Give in to your cravings at Subway. Eat fresh.
The people of Guam are outraged with the growing crime rate and lack of justice on Guam. They are outraged at the number of criminals arrested, released, and back on the streets committing more crimes. This must not be allowed to continue. Along with crime prevention and reduction initiatives, Felix and Tony will work with lawmakers, law enforcement, and the courts to reduce repeat offenders. Crime prevention, rehabilitation where possible, and harsh punishment for criminals. This will be justice for all.
I'm Felix Camacho, and I approve this message.
Project Inspire and the Guam Dance Community presents
Made to Move,
a community dance event. Sunday, July 31st at the Agania Shopping Center. Pull up in your dancing shoes because we're dedicating this entire day to dance. This full-day event will have fun community dance workshops, a grand premiere of the film, and an all-out after-party. A portion of the proceeds will benefit Guam Cancer Care. Tickets are now available at www.projectinspire.co. And follow us on the gram at Project Inspire for updates on the event.
Made to Move.
Paying more for gas, more for food, more for everything? How about something for free? For a limited time, switch to GTA and get 3 months free. Bring your phone with your number to GTA and get 3 months of free service when you sign up for any wireless unlimited plan. Plus, we'll waive activation fees and set you up with a free SIM card. Come into GTA today for the best truly unlimited wireless plans on the best network. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit GTA.net. GTA, we start with you.
What happened?
Dr. Macris.
Oh, my doctor.
Yeah.
Oh.
The monkey herpes.
Yeah. 9:33 in the morning. I'm sorry. I got a couple of things. See, I did it again. I should have been looking at the table of contents to make sure I knew where I was going and that I was in the right river. Typical, somebody sends me something. This came in from Nate Horn, and Sarita was referring to an ounce of prevention better than a pound of cure is the old line that we learned from. I think that's in the Bible. Or a Broadway play. I'm not sure exactly where it comes from. 9:33. And Nate sent this thing in here. It's apparently some kind of a flyer from Babies R Us and Toys R Us. It says, pull out and save up to $600. Now, that sounds like exactly the kind of prevention, though I will say that is not the best form of birth control or that kind of thing. I mean, if you get married, if you ever been married in the church, you got to go through this whole thing where there's a conversation about the marriage act and doing a thing about timing on the rhythm method as it's referred to. I'll provide
I've never read.
two couples a degree of control over what happens when things happen. 9:34. I know it's 9:34 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. A very close, very dear personal friend, Dr. George Macris. Did we find you in Costa Rica, sir, or have you found your way back into the bosom of the United States of America?
Well, I'm back. I'm still kind of, getting over it. But, Ray, I just want to remind you, I want you to embrace the fact that you are a sexagenarian.
Thank you.
No matter who hangs up on you because of your age.
Or who refers to me as a stooge, right?
I mean, I love it. You brought it up several times about the phone call. They said, thank you very much.
I'm blown away. Wait a second. No. Come on. You're in the same age group, and there you're buying airplane tickets. You still dress like you've got a sense of style, and that's still working for you. And I'm sure that you're driving around in something sexy, right? I don't understand why anybody that was doing any kind of market research would ignore individuals just because they were over the age of 60.
Well, I don't know, but listen, I'm in a state that is loaded with people who are in an older age group, and they control everything here. They buy everything. They have the wealth. They drive the nice cars. And all I can say is that it's not bad, especially when you go to certain other countries, because you could be a sexagenarian with personality, and it's a great combination.
All right. Well, I will be
personality,
careful because there are some women that I know that throw up in their mouth just a little bit when you use the phrase sexagenarian.
Well, I just have to, anyway. I did that because you said people. So anyway.
Well, I mean, there's
the monkeypox.
Yeah, that knucklehead over at the WHO, and my understanding is he bypassed certain actual scientific boards and their recommendations and came out on his own. I forget the name of the fellow. He's a Buñuelos doggo-looking guy with glasses. It come out. And said that this is a worldwide health care emergency now, despite the fact that the commissions and boards under him had not yet reached that conclusion.
Right. It kind of sounds like the COVID board on GovGuam, where the doctors recommended one thing, but the government went another way.
Exactly.
They have to fear porn somehow. I mean, honestly, I don't think a person has died of monkeypox in the United States. I think there were 3 deaths worldwide this morning, and they were just specifically people who are immunocompromised. Again,
wait. So wait a second. So they didn't die from monkeypox. They died with monkeypox?
Well, if you're immunocompromised, I didn't read all the case reports, but let's say you have a severely depressed immune system, and you're in a particular group. And you have, you just have a defective immune system, your system could be overwhelmed. The exact cause of death, I haven't looked at the cases, but generally it isn't from monkeypox. It's from monkeypox and something else.
All right. Now, without dancing around this too much, of the cases that they are talking about worldwide, my understanding is a significant number, up in the 90 percentile here, is men who have sex with other men. Is it possible that they are immunocompromised? Because is it possible that many of them are suffering with HIV?
Absolutely. I don't.
Okay, so we got to be mature enough to be able to talk about this. If you are a member of the gay community and are having sex, gay male community, and having sex, unprotected sex with other men, there's a very good chance that you may pick up monkeypox. And if you've already got a case of AIDS, a dose of AIDS on you, then it's possible that could lead you to a terminal case.
Right, but I can't say it. Absolutely, because it's the end of the day. But I believe it could have been in an area in Africa where HIV is very prominent, and they don't have access to the medications that we have because there's AIDS and there's HIV positivity. Right now, if you get proper treatment with once-a-day pill, your survival is the same as somebody who doesn't have HIV. It's that treatable a disease when the system puts its effort into treating and curing a particular, syndrome. And that's what they did. At one point, something like 80% of the international budget for disease was put into treating HIV. And I'm one of the doctors who was training when we didn't know what the hell was going on with this disease. So now that's why, if you get diagnosed, you get treated. Hopefully you have access to the medication. And again, people living with HIV have the same lifespan as people who don't, especially when they take medication.
Gotcha. Anything else going on in the world of medicine?
All right. There isn't anything, this is a slow time, slow news for medicine.
Yeah.
There's the same, you're getting little, while they're dealing with the economy and all that, they're still trying to put out warnings about again, you've heard it many times, the midterm strain, and they're saying, well, the BA5 and all the other ones don't seem to be causing any more death, but that may not last for long. And, they're gearing up, really gearing up for BA6 or 7 and some dramatic surge, which is meaningless. It's you're testing positive cases in September, October.
Well, where do we hide from that? I mean, one of the things that we've learned here is the efficacy of the vaccinations and even the boosters at this point seem to be declining in a logarithmic basis. It's terrible what's happened to something. They said the vaccines were supposed to have 95% efficacy, and now here we are a year into vaccination and double boosting now, and they say, well, it might only be 40, might only be 45% effective.
Well, look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, especially in the proper age group with risks. It does it does give you some degree of protection, but this has nothing to do with disease. This has all to do with voting by mail and possibly drop boxes. So that's all.
All right. Election theft. All right. Well, I see where you might be headed with this. Although, I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at today's Guam Daily Post, and this is something that was rather alarming earlier in the week. We got questions about, didn't we buy a genome sequencer around here so we didn't have to send samples to Hawaii or Washington, D.C.? And the answer is yes. But apparently we didn't buy whatever juice that goes in it that makes it do this genome sequencing. So the front page of today's Guam Daily Post, John O'Connor writes, officials wait on data for recent COVID samples. The latest genome sequencing results obtained from the CDC show 43 cases of BA.2 subvariant of COVID-19. However, those were collected in mid-April. We are now almost August.
Ray, having been involved with getting a rapid cycler during the going way back, a similar device, there was no funding, and the cost of setting the system up for public health, which was already strained, and the talent they need, it is not worth it. It is likely not worth it on Guam. And although the call is for lighter topics, there's things where I agree with the medical community and I disagree with the medical community. One of them is we don't need to put money into a special sterile lab and pay technicians to sequence. We could send out the sequence. We can deal with clinical circumstances. And so anyway, I don't think it's a big deal. But I wanted to
it is kind of interesting when you got somebody like Bob Leon Guerrero says that they've got a gut feeling that the BA.5 is here, and I think we'd prefer after.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt it's on Guam. I'm talking to people in Saipan who have symptoms that are consistent with BA.5. Look, at every day I'm getting, in just my pot of patients, maybe 9 to 15 calls. They're infected. We're saying take it easy, vitamins, a few other simple things, and you'll be fine if you've been vaccinated. And even if you're not, these are the warning signs. And so far, none I'm aware of hundreds of patients needing to go to the hospital. And so that's it. And anyway, there was other news, board news about laws they want to pass, and I have a feeling, and I think I have to briefly comment that even though there are problems with the board, even though during the Camacho administration he weaponized messing with licenses, which were previously held sacrosanct, and you had a chance to defend yourself, I don't believe doctors' names should be publicized merely because of a complaint until they've had their day in court.
The stunting of the due process here is just outrageous, and it was one of the few points that I agreed with Governor Lulian Guerrero and Josh Tenorio in the debate that took place last night. Was we've got to do everything that we can to look, if you got a red flag, we got a red flag, but due process is the most important thing in the world. People have to know. We talk about retention and recruiting to bring a variety of medical practitioners of all stripes here to Guam. One of the things that they have to be confident of is that they will be able to do their business safely without too much undue fear of some kind of retribution for looking at a patient wrong or, as will happen, a negative outcome.
Well, it has nothing to do with that on Guam. In Guam, you could just be politically attacked, and I'm an example. But I've advocated for to take it out of the board's hands and put it in the court, because I just want to remind people Guam is unique. The board can make up their own rules. They can say, you can't practice because we don't like the color of your scrub, and that'll fly if the board does it. If the board agrees, board members, they have no rules. They make them, they create them ad hoc. And really, there's no rules of evidence, and I honestly feel any adverse action should be put in front of a judge. Everything, unless it's life or death, and they can go to the court and say, look, if this patient if this doctor sees another patient or may harm the patient, you need to you go in for whatever writ lawyers do. You let the board say, okay, it's time. Let's take it to court, but they do not have the final decision.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's how you'll get doctors to stay on Guam, because it's kind of a wild west for providers out here. And the ones who come out here, not all, but some of them have nothing else to lose, and many of them don't want to stay because they have too much to lose, because they see that that their license is not protected under the current structure. And I put it in great detail during the testimony, and it was published in Candid and in the paper, the steps they need to take. Just like Tom Shea knows what's broken in the healthcare system, I kind of have that. I have an idea of that, but I think I'm an expert in how I've experienced and I've been studying what needs to be done to create a better licensing environment and how to protect the public from the level of where you administer licenses and so on and so forth.
Send a copy of that over send a copy to Mike Nicholas and Bree. 946, Doc, it's always fun talking with you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll get caught up maybe Monday, your day.
I will, and I'll be catching up on the news and hearing the entirety of those debates, which I have to do over the weekend.
You will. All right,
have
my friend.
Have a great weekend.
I will. You too. It's 9:46 in the morning. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number. Ray Gibson Show. Are we working until 10?
All the way.
That's my plan. That's my plan. And then it gets to be the weekend, and I don't know that I've got a whole heck of a lot on the plate here this weekend. It's just I want to say, as we get to the cusp of the end of the program here, I want to say that I've got one of those weekends where, I'm going to be crazy busy tonight, and then tomorrow's going to be gangbusters, oh my God, and then Sunday is going to be this and that, and I think I will be happy if one of a couple of things happens over the weekend, that the sun is out long enough for me to mow my yard. I think that in and of itself might make me a very, very happy guy. In the meantime, though, I intend to spend a lot of time on social media. I've decided that I can't fight it. I need to be on social media for a variety of reasons. Among them, work. I need to know what's going on here. I need to know what's going on around the nation and around the world. And I also need to have access to as many hot Asian women in bikinis doing jump rope. And it's turned into a whole kind of obsession with me on social media. So I'm not going to fight that. As I said, maybe the sun will come out long enough. One of the stories that I will be watching even more of is this one here. Yahoo News. It's on Yahoo, so you know it's real. A U.S. aircraft carrier and its strike group are headed into the hotly contested waters around Taiwan ahead of a possible visit by Nancy Pelosi to the island. And there's a picture. I can't make out the number on the side, but if it is what I think it is, there's a shot there of the USS Ronald Reagan.
Yes, sir.
Which was right around these parts not that long.
Sir.
You know what I got from my dad before he died? I have a Ronald Reagan hat. USS Ronald Reagan hat, and it has all of his cool buttons and pins from being in the Navy and all of that stuff. So the story reads: a U.S. aircraft carrier and its strike group are now operating in the South China Sea. The vessels were moved to the area amid tensions between China and the U.S. China has signaled that it may take military action if Nancy Pelosi visits Taiwan. A U.S. aircraft carrier and its strike group are now in the South China Sea. Speaking to insiders Wednesday, U.S. Navy spokesman Mark Langford confirmed that the vessels were on the move and operating in the South China Sea. They deported Singapore after making a port visit just last week. According to Langford, the carrier is, quote, continuing normal scheduled operations as part of her routine patrol in support of a free and open Indo-Pacific. The news comes less than a day after a report emerged about the Pentagon's preparations to protect Nancy Pelosi with fighter jets and ships if she were to visit Taiwan. She was scheduled to travel to the island back in April, but she tested positive for COVID. Per the Financial Times, Pelosi is tentatively set to visit the island in August, or what I like to refer to as Monday. Per the Financial Times. Meanwhile, China warned this week of a possible military response if Pelosi's trip took place. Senior Colonel Tan Kefei, a spokesperson for China's Ministry of Defense, said, if the U.S. insists on taking its own course, the Chinese military will never sit idly by, and it will definitely take strong actions to thwart any external forces' interference. And that's the way they look at it. That's the way they see it. Taiwan is China. And doesn't matter what happened back in the old days with Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong. It didn't matter. There's a history. Everything was before that. Hundreds, thousands of years before that. Taiwan was China. And despite where people think we might be in this geopolitical region, China will disagree. And that's the deal. And we watch that carefully because if Pelosi goes, oh my God, you want to. Here's the scenario, right? So she flies out there, and the plane mysteriously disappears from radar.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? And then what are we going to do? What's the response going to be?
Between the knees, Ray.
What if the Chinese use that as the precursor? Oh, we were okay. We were just, having a good time, little Chinese Sunday barbecue, and all of a sudden here comes this plane flying into this contested region. We had no choice but to move up our invasion date.
There's a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll move up the invasion date, and we know that we could not possibly be successful in invading the island nation while Guam and all of the military assets are intact on Guam. So, yeah, we got to take those guys out. So, yeah, we don't know where Pelosi's plane is either, and we're sending missiles over in that direction. Might even take out some of the allies.
She should take a commercial flight just to kind of like under the radar kind of thing.
Nancy Pelosi in disguise. Nancy Pelosi in disguise will get Judy Wanpat's glasses. Right? We had this whole conversation on the candidate thing. Sorry, it's in my head now. It's got to get out. And one of the things that we were talking about is some of the changes that we'd like to see. And somebody said they'd like to see a change in Judy Wanpat's haircut. And I was like, well, what kind of change are we talking about? Carl Gutierrez comb over? Do we want to do that? I was thinking, it's so easy to do a Carl Gutierrez comb over, right? But what was tricky, as in Ricky, was the wavy comb-over that Uncle Ricky Berdalio had. Remember that?
I do remember.
Look around for some pictures. You just know that took Madeline hours to achieve. At 9:52, I'll take a quick break and figure out how I'm going to kill the next 8 minutes. Move.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Get a personal loan for that summer vacation or to pay off those long overdue bills. Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña, now at the old Nanbo Insurance Building at 475-4545, Upper Tumon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, here to serve you.
Tell me about it, stud.
Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Festival is back on Saturday, October 22nd. We rockin' and rollin' at the Dusatani Guam Resort from 2 to 10 p.m. Bring your friends and come dressed in your best grease costume to win up to $500 in cash and prizes. So bust out those leather jackets and 50-style outfits as we party the night away at Circle K's Craft Beer and Whiskey Fest. Don't be a square. Get your tickets now at craftbeerfestguam.com or cruise on by any 76 Circle K location. Now that's cool, baby.
Hafa-day, Patsy Gogri from Security Title here with information about what a title company does. The title side of our business determines who owns a property and guarantees your ownership with a title insurance policy. The escrow side acts as an independent third party, managing the transfer of money and documents between the buyer, seller, lenders, and others. Security Title has a management of real estate closing down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
Carl Meyer aboard the APL Herodot, saying happy Spam Silog Friday. Now we know what he's having for breakfast. Alvin Sam's there. Donna Mila says the language should be clear. We are pro-life, meaning we are against elected abortion. Abortion is a medical procedure that refers to miscarriages that occur in the second and third trimester. Other stories here. Lou Mendiola, who is echoing, was it Harvey Egna said, I got my GPA bill. No $100 discount. I land it. I had a day.
Check Monday.
No, next month. It'd probably be a $200 credit next month. Oh, well, so much for the emergency sessions. Hurry up and wait for the $100 credit for 5 months. I see where you're headed with that. Let me see. Vince Paulino offering his Monday morning armchair quarterbacking, seeing the officer would not have been in this dilemma if he just threw rocks back at the guy. but ended up shooting him because he was slingshotting dudes. John Song's there. Sally Aquino. Shelly says Mac is hot. Did I say otherwise? Well, it's just that the first time, Shell, I'll speak directly to my sister. The first time that Dr. Macris used the phrase sexagenarian, it was an earlier phone call, and Mana was still here. And Mana made the bleh, she made that
she turned green.
She made the muta noise.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this is not the conversation
I felt bad for her.
that I was expecting to have with my older brother in the room having a conversation about sexagenarian. So that's why, for the sake of those that I'm assuming are like sisters to me in the Point family, likewise going, oh my God, he said sexagenarian again. Tattoo Shauna. What were we asking Tattoo Shauna for? Merchant of Death tattoos, right?
Yes. MOD.
Okay. MOD, Merchant of Death. If not, maybe a Stooge tattoo for me. Yeah, just because
MSN Stooge.
Baby, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna own it. You know, that's my favorite thing. It's like when what's her name, Clinton came out and started talking about deplorables. I'm the deplorable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me and my people a name. Yes, we are deplorables. And what was it Biden called us later on? He said ultra uber. No, it's ultra mega. We're ultra mega. And you know, I know it was supposed to be like an insult. It was supposed to be one of those, ooh, burn. We got a new bad name for you. We got a new slur for you people. You are ultra magas. And I'm going, dude, I like the way that sounds. I can see it in kind of a whole kind of 70s chrome, graphic motif or something like that. At any rate, so we got Marjon Conception, Johnny Rosario. Sending hearts to Carlene Harker, James Howard, Donna D. It starts in the July billing cycle, which will be reflected in the August bill. Onad Ven, Mendy Baggio, Jose Luna is there, Prudential Meno, and Joey Chargaloff, all hanging out with us on a Friday morning. I got to say thanks very much. I don't want to ignore the guys on the YouTube side, where they are talking about people being labeled Centaurus. These are people with the BA 2.75. Cool, scary name. Currently mostly in India. Lupang Guam says, I could see another variant. My unmodified natural immune system needs something to play with. Brian Chargala says, Centaurus? I like that. It does sound fearful. Centaurus Rex will bounce right off of us true bloods, pure bloods, forever. Somebody needs to be around to clean up the mess. That is the hope, isn't it? that is kind of the hope is that in the great by and by, when all of this is done, there will be the victims of COVID, and then there will be the vaccinated of COVID, and who knows what woe will befall them, and then there will be all of us purebloods, right? And without getting too much into reproductive health, hey. I better leave that there. 9:58 and change. What's that? Sarita's already bailing out. Call me Ultramaga all day long, says Sarah Lake. I absolutely agree with you. There were a couple of things that were of interest, and I don't know that I've got to take all the time in the world to sell it. You might have noticed me playing with something in the studio.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was trying to figure it out, and then I just put it down. I said, maybe it's a weapon. I might
So
myself.
I got this from Lee Weber.
I know.
And there's a part of it, it's just our arts and craft, a little something to hold on to, a little handle that you can put onto it.
Merchant of Death.
But you might be wondering, yes, what Merchant of Death device is this? What could you possibly use? What mayhem could be caused by this? It's hard for me to describe because I do know that part of it comes from the front end of a gun of some kind or another. But it's been modified. So you see that little curlicue on the inside of it? You know what that's for?
Beer.
You pop. This is exactly right. Wow. This is a church key. This is a bottle opener. And thank you, Lee Weber. This will never, ever leave my side. I'm going to find a way to get my keys attached to this. So I've always got a church key, and I've always got something to you to remember you, my favorite Corman, by. It's 9:59 and change. I do have at least one adventure today, and has it been raining a whole lot outside this morning? Started clear?
Slightly. It's a little clear.
I gotta
Be
go
safe up there, Ray.
I gotta do mountain work today, and I'm kind of looking forward to it, with the exception of the fact that I might have to drive through a couple of miles of red dirt to get there. But
wear the white shoes, Ray.
It's the fun of being a broadcaster. I gotta go. We'll be back with you on Monday. That's the plan so far. Programming note: Thursday, I may not be here all the way through the show. It's jury duty something day that I got to show up for because somebody thinks that I don't know anything about crime. At any rate, It's 10 o'clock in the morning for Real Joe and Donna and Joanne and Jerry Roberts. My name is Ray. I'm Ray Gibson, right? Ray Gibson, Stooge, Ray Gibson saying thanks so much for listening to the broadcast. Have an incredible weekend. See you Monday.
At least 8 people dead in Kentucky after heavy rains triggered historic flooding.
Driving rains are overflowing lakes and streams in Kentucky as first responders work to rescue residents. Governor Andy Beshear says with the lives that have already been lost, a grim outlook lies ahead as the night goes on.
Our death toll is growing. By the end, we expect it will be in double digits, and a lot of families out there have lost absolutely everything.
Forecasters are predicting more rain for the region.